All right, everyone. Before we get into our next run, let me get you into the proper mindset. Let's go back to the year 2005. It's just around the winter holiday. You have just entered your local GameStop and see a very special PlayStation 2 game. It's a game based on your favorite browser game of the decade. And now, Clagnarok will take us through Neopets the Darkest Fairy. Good luck. The floor is yours.
Hey everybody, my name is Clagnarok. Clog, it doesn't really matter. If you can think of something to call me, you can call me. This is Neopets the Darkest Fairy. It is a game from 2005, as mentioned, and it is an action RPG based around two characters that are destined to save the world from the big bad, the Darkest Fairy. I have my commentator here, Deesh. If you'd like to say anything.
Hello, I'm Deesh. I ran this game for the better part of 2 years. I'm one of the cultivating minds behind creating this category, and I was the only runner of it for a while till Clegg decided to steal my thunder.
Okay, come on. But, yeah.
He's better than me.
There is a, well, asterisk. But there is a significant amount of tech, like, get through in the beginning half of the run, so it's a little dense, but once we're maybe 30 minutes in, it'll cool down. So if there's anything else you guys need from me, I'm ready to start when you are.
I think give us a countdown and we'll be ready to go. Very excited.
All right, we'll start on new game in 3, 2, 1, go. And the first thing we're gonna do is just spam through 2 cutscenes, spam through our sister's dialogue, and then pick up a bucket, pause, and quit the game at the same time. Seems weird. This is known as floating item glitch. Also, that was a first frame. That's insane.
Nice.
The reason we're doing that is this will put the game in a state where we've picked up an item, and we would normally go through a cutscene every time we pick up an item for the first time, and certain items will do it every single time. But because we've done this and quit the game will think, oh, you're already in a cutscene, so we're not going to play anything. Why would we do that? That would be silly. We get to skip all item pickup cutscenes for the rest of the game, so long as we don't reset the console. And the other thing I'm doing here, other than corralling these winnies just into the gates, is right before I opened the select menu to quit the game when I picked up the bucket, I had opened the consumable menu, so either this one here, or pressing down to open that one, and holding square, which is the advanced dialogue button, and that will allow the game to skip every single dialogue box at the speed of light, like faster than Taz can mash it. It was just a fun little optimization. Anytime we have text that's automatically going to appear, that was a rare scenario we can kind of manipulate it, we're going to want to be able to do that. And, okay, great start. So here, instead of pushing that box in the tutorial, we can use the fact that we have low gravity, which I'll have Deesh explain in just a second, to use our L2 jump, which is a strafe jump that will preserve the gravity that we have and increase the height of our jump to grab that ladder just barely, instead of pushing that box all the way over and being slow. If you want to explain
Yeah, so
more.
when we...
There you go, sorry.
Yeah, so when we jump, our gravity value is set from is set from 1, which is what it normally is. When we jump, it's set to 0.3 or sometimes 0.35. The distinction is negligible. When we grab onto a ledge, that value doesn't reset to 1. So if we otherwise interrupt the jumping animation and don't go into free fall mode. So we can use that to our advantage in a lot of different ways to just do normal jumps that are higher and reach things quicker, or later down the line, that'll also be useful for another series of glitches that we'll get to when we get there.
Yeah, and when Deesh mentioned not going into free fall, a way we can avoid that is either just staying on the ground, of course, or we can hold that strafe button, so L2, and drop off ledges, and that will basically let us keep moving while we're moving through the air and keep that low gravity when we hit the ground next. And we get to do the one thing that every other category does immediately and go immediately out of bounds. There's this little seam here, and you can just jump right out of bounds right there. Super easy. And from
So this
Yep.
this just skips a kind of combat tutorial sequence where we encounter a bunch of thieves on the road and have to learn to fight by just attacking them.
which is slow. We don't like slow.
Yes.
Also skips.
It's actually like, so are you sure you're not going too far?
No, because we changed the route.
Right,
remember?
right,
With
right.
Verb.
I even made a point to try to remember this and I forgot.
It's fine.
So there are a series of side quests here in the Farm Road area. First, actually, I should probably go over what the definition is. So this game, 100% speedrun is defined as all of the triggering and clearing all of the main quests, all of the side quests, all of the treasure maps and their respective chests, and getting all the max permanent health upgrades, magic upgrades, weapons, armor, and shields, and for both characters, and a certain set of key items that we keep at the very end of the game, and the hero's cloak. Also, the maximum luck meter as well. So there are actually 3 side quests here in this area that we're able to go through as kind of again, another kind of tutorial introduction sort of thing through the early parts of the game. And we actually we don't have to trigger their side quests. It's a little weird. It would be very easy for a casual player to just skip over the original triggers for those quests. Also, there's another use of low gravity there, is jumping onto a random ledge that's just inside a wall. Cool game. But yeah, we decided for those 3 quests in particular, if you can do them without initially triggering them, because again, it would be very easy to do so by accident, we allow it. So we're going to go back and finish those later when we have fast, speedy things. And another thing that Clag is doing right now is, again, well, you mentioned the you already mentioned the instant text glitch.
Yes, but
So
go on.
no, go continue.
A thing to note that people learning the run typically forget, which is fine, is that you have to hold it the whole time, including if it's through like real cutscenes. I mean, there's a little bit of leeway with that, but with the infinite text glitch, there's like 2 scenarios where you could like actually kind of mess up the game and some triggers to not get items, for example, that we have to be careful of, but we shouldn't run into that. And here we just got the package stolen we got from our father, just as a little lore update. And so we're chasing this guy, this little Mirko, and right there we stopped and picked up these shiny little sword pieces that we definitely knew were there and are definitely very important for us. And we're just gonna go about casually. And right there, we did a little bit of a weird jump with that NPC there. That was Sammy. He says we smell like Winnies. That's a different story. But
And you do.
if you... Okay, listen. If we are to jump into an NPC, open their text box, close the text box, and when we hit the ground, we hit, or we jump again, and this is all while holding L2, R1, and A direction, you will basically preserve your speed from the initial movement you had when you jumped into the NPC, and then continue gaining speed when you come out of their text box. It'll be like, oh, you should have been still when you were talking to them, so we're going to keep moving you. But because you were in the air, you were still moving. So it gives you a little bit of a speed boost, and then jumping right when you hit the ground lets you extend that a little bit. So we're going to do that whenever we can throughout. That'll also have the side effect of giving us low gravity if we don't do the jump when we hit the ground. So we can use that in a few spots.
So the lore, the story is pretty closely followed throughout the run for the first like half an hour or so here. It's basically fairly traditional fantasy medieval trope. Local farm boy dreams of being a knight in the big city. He gets the opportunity of a lifetime when tasked with taking a package to the capital, and he gets caught up in the plot to overthrow the world and has to save it. And of course, we do have another character that we're going to meet later on, but yeah, we were given a package by Dad after doing chores at the house. We got it stolen, had to steal it back, and now we're doing other things.
Man, maybe that one really should have gone to Farmer Addison again. Wouldn't have gotten stolen.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, true. At least we got it back.
We did get it back. If you want to give a brief explanation of the infinite money glitch, since we have a little bit of time before that comes up.
Yeah, so the fighting in the arena there is not just to gather up a little bit of extra money that we will need. It's actually to set up a glitch that you're going to see coming up here. So Clag is going to repeatedly talk to this sign and just generate copious amounts of money instantly. So what's happening here is that basically the game likes to store its text in memory. Usually this is ended with the use of an escape character. So getting the money award from the arena and then talking to this sign in particular cuts off the escape character. So the text just continues and rolls into the next text that still makes up the rest of memory. And that leftover text is like whatever was there before. And in this case, it corresponds to the code to give you money. So there was actually, shout out to Monster860, aka Ella, one of the OG coder glitch hunters for this game. She put together a tool to search the game for all possible combinations of money rewards and text boxes that would give infinite money glitch. And unfortunately, this is the most convenient one. It's going to be a little while here because we want to get a lot of money. But trust me, for the rest of the run, it's far and away worth it.
I do think it's very like PlayStation 2 vibes to be like, yeah, we're gonna talk to the sign and become rich. This is something that would like appear on a speedrun out of context post, and it's perfect. It's a great energy.
Peak mid 2000s game speedrunning, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And that's real. Now I just wish we could do this and generate infinite money for Girls Make Games Fund.
Now that would be awesome.
Thoughts, chat? Someone should do this, and we should figure this out.
For real.
I hear this worked at banks.
I have to step in as host. Do not try this at your local bank.
No. But maybe ask them if they want to donate. Charity's great.
Yeah, that's
Charity's
true.
Great. Since we have a little bit of time here. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say we're still $40 off from our boy Jaxler's bonus any % run of Soul Reaver 2. We have to meet that by the end of the next run, so we still have some time. But we got 3 hours here. We better hit that by the end of this run. I'm just saying, or you'll make me upset.
Jaxler's also a Neopets runner, so just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Get our boy back. He's been gone for so long.
We have to take him back.
Since we have a little bit of time, what's everybody's favorite Neopet? I could ask this earlier, but it's always fun to know.
For me, it's the Kachik.
Okay. All right.
Why? No, why do you react like that?
Neopets.
Dog Neopets. I'm just gonna...
Okay, there are a few of them. Isn't the guy you play in this game a dog? Isn't that?
Yeah, he's a loop. So
isn't that the lore?
Wolf.
Okay, I see. Oh my God, there's a web page with all the Neopets. That's wild.
Yep. It's probably on Deli Geo if I had to guess.
Yeah, if you guys want to donate to tell us your favorite Neopet, maybe, and this is something I think I'll regret saying potentially. One of my tech people on the back end was like, "Why don't you ask everyone what their Neopet Sona would be?" So I guess we're doing that now. If you want to tell me your favorite Neopet or your Neopet Zona in the donations, feel free to. I'm worried about the latter, but you know what? That's okay. I'll figure out how to navigate this one.
Yes. Like to
So we
address-
finally finished
Oh, go on.
with the money. No, that was it. Just we're finished with the money, and we go to deliver the package to where it was supposed to be, and then that's kind of where we get the quest to. Oh, he's like, hey, do you want to become a squire? Because he's busy, he's not really paying attention, and he still sees us there, so he's just like, oh, do you want to become a squire? And we're like, oh yeah, and you need this, 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 and this. But before we do that, we're gathering up some side quests and all the potions we need for the run. Look at this spam.
My square button isn't working all the time.
This is why we needed all that money, because we get 166 potions.
And this is a lot more than we actually need, but I just wanted to say that. I'm rusty.
Yeah, yeah. I think your world record gets like 140. Right?
No. Oh, potions? Yes.
Yeah. No, not 140,000 Neopets.
That's why I was confused. Yeah, no. This time I duped 125,000. I believe record duped 110.5 or 109.5. So, still a lot. It takes quite a while.
Jeebus. That's actually quite impressive. I think my PB
Yours is
still gets like
111.
100.
Or no.
Oh, it's 111?
112.
I thought it was like 115.
112.5.
Yeah.
I had it written down.
Yeah. Still pushing it like really close to the wire with those potions. So we do a lap around Meridel, collecting all of the side quests and treasure maps we can. And then we have almost fixed the sword for the that we collected some little chunks of, and then we're gonna go turn that into the man-at-arms, who's going to give us a letter of recommendation in exchange for fixing his sword for him, and then we can become a squire. Squire.
Also, there's a lot of mashing in this game. Learn to mash properly. Like, there's a lot of different ways. Just don't do it unhealthily. I do it as a rotation way, so I'll try to show that off a few times, but I basically put most of the weight of the controller into, like, the balls of my left hand, so near the joints, and then use my left thumb, like, stretch it over the controller to square, and my right thumb over top of square, and kind of rotate my wrists up and down. And that is the nicest on my wrist. I usually do a pivot through my elbow sometimes too, depending on how long it mashes. So just save your wrists.
Yeah,
we have a bad habit with that.
I typically do the little wrist pivot, unless it's like really long text. Then
Or like
then I
buying
do the
potions.
two thumb mashing. Oh yeah, buying potions. Yeah. When buying potions, you really just look like you're absolutely tweaking.
Oh yeah. But
So we finished everything. We're done with the Meridel.
yep, game's done.
Now we get to
GG.
go back to Farm Road, because the last thing we need is a consent paper signed by parents, and that's thought to be a cheeky little reference to how the website requires parental consent, or used to.
I think it still does.
But yeah, we this is also here starting a long chain of quests that go pretty far into the game. This is the what's it called? The Gellert Prince.
Yes. Google Alert
Quest,
Prince,
yeah.
Like line,
So
I guess.
this guy off to the side here, Prince Torin. He is on his way to see his betrothed in Bright Vale, across pretty much across the map, and he gets burglarized, and his golden rose that he wanted to present to his beloved gets stolen. So we get it back for him, and he gives us a little bit of money in exchange, and asks us to
Deliver
send
it
it
for
to
him.
her. Yeah.
Because his carriage is broken, which is like, sure, whatever, man. He pays us a little bit. But
Yep.
he survives this time, I guess. And so this is the area.
I never thought about it, but he's
Go on.
quite. Sorry, I never thought about it, but he's actually quite resourceful because he does manage to fix his carriage on his own, at least as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know. Something happens and he gets there. And so this is the area we were at before that I was going out of bounds and skipping. Oh my god, please. Thank you. Sometimes collision is a little weird there. But the reason we came and talked to the guy outside of the cellar at the beginning of the game is because once we enter Meridel and go through that Miraca chase sequence, we are not able to get the quests from any of these 3 NPCs over here, which would be a problem if these were mainline quests because we would need to trigger every part of them. But because they're side quests, we just need to complete them. And the completion flags still trigger for all of them, so long as we just kill the things necessary. And all of these are like basically defeat quests. The thing with Farmer Addison there is that he has a cellar key. It's locked, and if we don't talk to him before we go into Meridel, we can't ever get into that cellar ever again. So that's super awesome. But because of that, we can get an upgraded sword, which makes it faster. We can get more motes to make things a little bit more efficient. And overall, it just makes it a little bit faster. It's not terribly significant, but it's around about 30 seconds faster than the old route, but it does mess some things up.
I mean, in the grand scale of things, it's very difficult to have a time save as large as 30 seconds in this game.
Oh yeah. Especially with a run as long as this.
Yeah. So now we're sent on yet another little tangent because before we can get the consent form, it turns out our sister was jealous of us getting to go on an adventure.
Same.
So she wandered off into the local village creepypasta place of curses and death and sadness, and where all the children go missing. I don't think there's any like true rumors of children going missing there, but it's just like one of the typical place where bad things are told because they don't want children going in there. But in this case, it's for good reason. She actually gets caught by a big old monster, so we're doing a bunch of out-of-bounds stuff to get in there and go save her. And we also have some side quest items and chests to pick up along the way.
So if you were doing any other route, this would be the first place we come. Doing the same out of bounds I just did from the farm, you would come right here, grab that flower, and then leave. And that is how you set up the infinite money glitch. That was awkward. I will need to buy a light mote somewhere, because we need that for an upcoming quest. Motara carry one? No. Does Morag carry one? I think she does.
I believe so too.
I think the only thing she doesn't carry is Hog. Normally we would pick up that light mode, but whoops.
I want to say there's another place you can get one, because
another thing is if we turn the camera like 45 degrees to either direction of Thor or the other character while they're climbing up a vine or anything of the sort, well, specifically a vine, and hold at a diagonal angle as opposed to directly into the wall, they will climb round about twice the speed. So it's nice to not have to just sit there and just slowly trek your way up the wall, and it makes a lot of times where you can get hit by enemies really obnoxiously be not that bad. But we're just gonna basically take out these tentacles that the monster is going to send up at us. He's gonna get angry, drop some plants, he's gonna slam his face at us, get stunned, and we're gonna do some damage. While we do that, is there any like messages or anything, or any questions?
I'm just this game is such good vibes to watch. I don't know, it really takes me back. In the meantime, though, we can remind everyone what we're here raising money for, because we're raising money for Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund. While women make up nearly half the gaming population, less than 24% of game developers in the US are women. Girls Make Games was created to address this gender gap and create a space for girls to explore the world of video games. To date, nearly 25,000 girls in 160 cities and 22 countries have accessed game dev workshops, summer camps, and tutorials. And Girls Make Games published titles have been downloaded over 190,000 times on partner platforms like PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Creators Programs, Steam, and Google Play. By inspiring girls to engage with STEAM through the fun and creativity of game design, we're creating a world where girls have the chance to discover their potential through gaming and game dev.
Awesome.
All of your donations go right to that cause. I am a huge fan of game dev stuff. I'm not one, but it is such an interesting world, and they're what give us the games that we speedrun here, so good way to give back.
Can you believe it? We're doing the same Out of Bounds once again.
Yes, dude. Yes, I love Out of Bounds. Yes.
Oh, there's much more coming up in this run.
See, that's why I love this game.
So a couple things to note. There were a couple little like eggplant shaped things called negs that we collect. Those are what we collect for. Actually, there are certain different types of them. The only important ones you need to keep an eye out for the purposes of the run are starry negs, red negs, and golden negs. And red negs add to your health meter, so that's part of maxing out the health meter. And starry negs do the same for magic, so that's maxing out the magic meter. Which is respectively the red and blue bars at the top left, which probably was obvious, but you know. And then golden negs do both. They add to both. So, yeah. I think, so yeah, obviously we finally got our parental consent form, and now we're Squire. We're going to go through some training and some grueling tasks around the castle.
Chores. And we're taking a small detour here to get that note that I missed because I'm a little silly. Okay, yeah, she does have a light.
It's all good.
I do think it's really ironic that for a quest in the Neopets game, you need to have your parents' permission to play the game more.
Yep. It's honestly kind of fire. Because it probably ingrained it in at least some of the kids' minds that played it of like, oh man, I really should listen to my parents. It probably works.
Yeah, maybe.
Not for me.
We need to research into this, folks.
So we should probably explain as well, with all the out of bounds we've been doing, we should probably explain how the out of bounds in this game work.
Right.
So I mean, obviously there's, you know, all different kinds of ways to get out of bounds. Sometimes we effectively run into walls. Sometimes we like just jump over things, or sometimes we kind of do like a fancy V-clip thing, which again, we'll get to later. But, oh yes, we have RNG. Let's go. This is a little...
Fun chore.
not chase quest, but like you have to sneak up, press and hold square to sneak up behind these guys, and put them in the little cage. And if you get too close, either in front of them or while not sneaking, they'll run away, and then you have to wait to catch them again.
The best part is that if you're too close to that fauna there, you can't interact with them, or if you're facing towards her in certain direction, you just can't use square at all. You can't sneak, you can't pick them up, nothing. It's like super fun and great. So that makes this extra annoying, but
yeah,
they're not too terrible. There's only 5 of them. And
you've already got 3.
Yeah, at least they're somewhat reliable. There's something at the very end of the game which is quite obnoxious, that is less reliable but still manipulatable, kind of like that. Like I can't press square here, and I just started running. So that was awesome.
Anyway, about Out of Bounds. So this game has a seamless loading system where if you run over certain pieces of collision, that trigger, or rather also certain kind of boxed in areas, that loads different parts of the map. So when we go out of bounds, you probably have already seen it. There will be, I like to call them box loads and collision, or like area loads and collision loads. Oftentimes we specifically look to hit a piece of the ground to load in the next area. And in other places, we'll just kind of run to what seems to be a random spot out of bounds that nothing really seems to happen, but that does load the next area. And another thing is that at the 0 Y coordinates, there's a big flat plane just going across the entire map. So we usually tend to fall down onto that when running out of bounds. And when there's collision directly above that the game thinks we should be standing on, we'll teleport right on top of it, and that's called an up warp. So that happens a lot in this run. We've already seen it a few times, but yeah, hopefully that cleared up some confusion on how the out of bounds works.
There's also a few out of bounds where the y=0 plane is actually above us for some strange reason, and it works the opposite way.
Yeah.
If we get out of bounds and there's no collision below us to stand on, it will warp us up onto it, which is super fun and definitely not buggy at all. Thank you, Ancient Sewers and all of that.
A game from 2005 being buggy?
No.
Looking into this.
Perfect.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Perfect game with no flaws.
Not my PlayStation 2.
True. So here we have the rule of fives, where everything takes 5. Why does everything take 5? I don't know, but we have 5 clogs to take care of now. And this is that last one. And we just have to break it up, not get murdered by tentacles or lords, which are basically like, I guess, slugs or slimes on crack, maybe. Trying to just murder us. There's 6 crocodiles, really?
I think so.
There's not?
We'll get to see him in a moment.
Hold on.
Wait, let me see.
There's the one there. There's the one there. There's one. No, you're spreading misinformation on the internet. There's 5.
I'm gasping.
No,
I'm gasping.
No,
I'm heartbroken.
that's
All right.
payback.
Production is telling me that we have to kick Deesh off commentary. That's it.
Adios.
You're out of here. Unchecked, dude.
It's either 3 or 5 in video games.
I didn't need to.
And then it's surprising the rare occasion when it's like some random thing in between.
6.
Like if it's 4 or if it's 6 or if it's.
It's never 2. I don't think.
It's sometimes 2? Question mark. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that.
I'm gonna search my catalog of all games.
I'll find something.
So here we're gonna actually pick up and see our first treasure map and subsequently open our first treasure chest, I think. I think it's the first one we open. And these treasure chests are literally everywhere in the game. There are 2 in the Marital Courtyard, which is where we're doing all our squire training. And one of them, the one we just picked up the map for, actually gives us a supernova mote, which is this mote slot all the way on the right here that's highlighted. And that is the exact thing that we need for literally every boss in the game. There are alignments in the game. They are a little buggy. So ideally what would happen is that you have the inner ring, which are what we refer to as tier 1 motes, where they're technically weaker, or you could refer to them as base strength if you wanted to. And as you would expect, you have things like fire and water oppose each other. It's not like where water would beat fire and something else would beat water. It is where fire beats water and water beats fire. It is a direct opposition. And then you have wind and earth go against each other. and you have light and dark. And with each enemy, theoretically, they would have an alignment of one of those 6. And then you have the 2 kind of like combinations of everything, which is the Nova and the Supernova mode. And that's just kind of like a catch-all. If every enemy had its proper alignment, like say these Crocobecs are wind aligned, so we're using a leaf mode here, which is earth aligned, to do more damage to them if I were to need to hit them for any reason, which we just have to take out the nests, funnily enough. Then if I could use a tier 2 of the earth mode, then that would do more damage than using, say, a Nova or a Supernova mode would do. Instead, for some things, like every boss in the game, they don't have an alignment whatsoever. They're just neutral. Same with the Ixie we fought in the arena to get the $500 to go do the infinite money glitch. So in that case, your best bet is to use a Nova or Supernova mode, because that's the only thing that gives it like a real buff. Because using any mode, regardless of alignment, even if it's the alignment the enemy is, will still give you, I think it's a 1.1 increase on damage. So it's never bad to use a mode.
Yeah, if you're using a moat at all, there is still a tangible benefit, regardless. I believe like the combinations are using a moat against something it's not strong against, which could be either no element or just the wrong element. And then obviously weak and strong, and then using it against the correct element. So I think weak against the wrong element is 1.1. Strong against the wrong element is like 1.3 damage multiplier. Weak against the correct one is like 1.75. Strong against the correct one is 2.5. And then Nova and Supernova are just like 1.5 and 2 times respectively. I believe that is the case. The numbers that I have seen have fluctuated, so I'm not sure what is entirely correct, but I believe that to be roughly true.
That was a
So
scam.
unlucky. Almost got the early cycle there.
Yeah, if I had stepped a little bit more forward, you can get the reflection, which is that entire tutorial, and just immediately get that first cycle. It's only slightly slower, so I'll take it, I guess.
And we're done with training now.
Yes, we're done with training. And there was a quest that we picked up from the lady outside, and she was like, oh, there's 2 men that I like. Help me decide which one. I put my charm somewhere in the castle. Tell them to go find it. So we can just go grab that charm and decide who to give it to, basically. And so we end up giving it to Sir Lawrence there, that red Tico that we just walked by. He gives us an item, since we need to complete the quest anyway. He gives us a silver neg, which is, I believe, the strongest regeneration item, because negs give both mana and health, and I believe the silver neg gives max of both. Regardless, we can use any consumable to feed pets, which we'll see a little later in the run. And those pets, depending on what they are, will give us buffs, and based on the consumable you give them, they will have a longer or shorter duration to follow you. The silver neg gives us the longest duration with the one we're going to use it on, which is the Doggle Fox, which gives us over an hour of runtime with him. And the
It's an
Doggle
hour and a
Fox-
half.
Hour and a half. And the Doggle Fox gives us a damage increase. And it's not like, oh, you know, you're gonna do like 0.1 extra damage, which is still kind of significant. It's like, it's a pretty hefty damage increase. Enough that, like, you can go from 2-3-shotting some enemies to like 1-shotting some enemies sometimes.
And that's including with a power potion that you have, by the way.
Yeah, so it's very busted. And we'll have him for a good majority of the late part of the run, like mid to late, I guess. So just a little added benefit of, he happened to be in the way, he happens to give us what we need. I don't even know what the other guy gives us, to be honest with you. I haven't turned it into him in so long. But hey, not my problem.
I would imagine it's the same.
With the amount of factors in this game, would you really be surprised?
True. I forgot what game we were talking about. My bad.
Yeah,
My fault on
We're
game.
playing Skyward Sword for furries, not Skyward Sword. Get it right.
My bad.
Here.
So this is
on.
this is the quest that we were given. Sorry,
No, no.
this is the quest that we were given as a squire. Our first mission. We were supposed to wait for a man who, yes, who Tor affectionately refers to as Sir Stuffs his face because he was too busy eating chicken legs to come and save the village with us. He said they can wait till I'm done eating.
He never finished eating, by the way.
Yeah. And he also never gets in trouble for that, which baffles me.
Yeah, he's at our knighting later, which is even more crazy, because it's like, what the heck, dude?
I think he does the thing where he's like, oh, I always believed in you as well.
Yeah.
Which is like, so, like, screw you, dude.
Basically, the town was like, oh no, save us. And we said, hooray, we can help you. But because this has been a repeat problem for them, which I guess is probably the reason Harlag didn't want to come along, they were like, can you just take care of the root problem and, like, be responsible for once? Like, please? You have one job and it's to save us. We're gonna go take care of that. But instead of going the long, boring way where we go casually through Cogum steeps, or steps, we can just go out of bounds and just keep pushing. The clip I did there, also I'm not counting, I'm just gonna guess, was more or less me running into a sheer angle corner and just jamming myself into that corner and then jumping through the wall. We do that a few times in this run. I don't think we do it terribly often, but we usually refer to those as Mirka speed clips, or do we have a specific name for the ones where we have to, like, jump and manipulate our way through it, or do we still just refer to them as speed clips?
Yeah, just a speed clip or sprint clip, I usually refer to them as, because technically Mirka speed clip is a misnomer, because it does depend on which specific instance you're using, but not all of them actually require the Mirka speed potion.
Or please. Swag strats that ended up being slower this time. It's okay. And so we just skipped, what, maybe 3 to 5 minutes of walking? In a puzzle?
It saves like a minute.
Even with the puzzle?
I want to say.
I don't know. Regardless. Yeah. So now we're just
If you do the entire thing casually, then it's probably about a minute.
And so this is where we're going to start using the Supernova mode, because we have a very limited amount in Act 1, but because it does so much extra damage to the boss, it ends up saving us enough time that it's worth it. We just have to be a little conservative with the hits we get, and if he blocks our hits, we have to be a little bit careful not to use too much. I think 37 should be fine, but we can hope. And so, from this point on, we're just gonna walk back to Cogum. There's an eye patch there. Ideally, what the people of Cogum wanted us to do, and I think they even told us to do it, is grab his eye patch to show us as proof that you, like, took care of him. You can just not grab the eye patch, funnily enough, and for whatever reason, the flag is there. Also, it's a little morbid for a kid's game to be like, can you, like, declothe bro to show us that you, like, murdered him, or whatever? Hey man, Neopets, I guess.
Bring me his head on a silver platter.
I feel like there are a lot of things like that in the Neopets universe that I've heard about, of like dark secrets. So if you have any and you want to donate to make us all feel bad for playing a child's game in our browsers, feel free to. I would love to hear some Neopets lore, trivia, dark secrets, etc., etc.
I've got one for you off the dome. So our SRC page, so there's like multiple fairies throughout the world. Kind of like an alignment thing of like, oh, you know, you have your Earth fairy, which we'll see later. You have the Darkest fairy, who's like, evil darkness. There's actually 2 evil fairies. The other one is named Judora, and this one is just referred to as the Darkest Faerie, I believe. But Junora is the one that we have on our SRC page. It's not the Darkest Faerie. Apparently, people didn't know that for the longest time. She's just not even related to the game whatsoever. She's not in this game. She's like barely on the site. Just a fun little fact.
That's awesome.
Spreading this
And we're going
information.
back into Cogham steps.
Ooh, yes.
So you started that sentence with speedrun.com page, and I got very scared.
Why's that? What's wrong with SRC?
I just thought we were gonna be taken to like a drama video real fast.
Oh, dear
you know.
God. No.
Oh, no.
Not with this game. Yet.
I'm glad to hear.
So, you may be wondering, where the heck are we? So, this is the first, like, seriously major sequence break of the game. So, earlier I mentioned with the low gravity stuff that we're gonna figure out, like, more stuff we can do with it later. That is actually coming up quite soon. So, first off, a little backstory. This area, we're supposed to come back to it way later at the end, like toward the end of the game, in Act 3. So we have Act 1, where we meet Tor and play as Tor. Act 2, where we play as our other character, Roberta. And then Act 3, where we kind of save the overworld with both of them. And then Act 4 is a little bit of a different thing later towards the end. So basically what's going on here is, with the way that the Darkest Faerie kind of takes over the world, she sends these dark magic clouds over everywhere, and they cause fear and paranoia in all of the citizens, and kind of magically manifest their greatest fears. So the greatest fear of the people of Cogham is the Ixie Chief returning, and I believe in one of the villagers' words, eating them all.
Really?
So in this case, yeah, we need to come through here and save all of them because they've all been captured. There are 5 of them plus the mayor, but the mayor is like at the end after beating the boss. So yeah, we actually do have to fight the guy again. And yeah, so we come through here, and there's really nothing special about all this. We just have to save each of these guys for the purposes of the main quests. Even though, again, technically, casually, it would be easy to just skip over all of them because there's actually like
Nothing stopping you.
Yeah, there's literally just straight up nothing stopping you.
And many of us did that, funnily enough. At least I did as a kid. I was like, I don't have to save them? What?
Yeah.
I forgot Stanley. So,
Stanley, no!
yeah. So, most of the miners we'll see in the town, like Stanley's just around. Brennan the Smithy is the guy we bought this new sword from. Giovanni the Explorer we talked to for a quest. Okay, so what happened there is I jumped early. If you can give me like just a minute, I can load up my safety saves.
Luke?
Yeah, I know. Let me load that up.
Admittedly, I was totally in the zone, and I completely forgot that there hadn't been any saves going on there.
I mean, I was gonna save there, but you know.
Yeah.
I have safety saves. I just have to reset things and load into like my memory card because we have a hack menu that we can use, and by booting into that hack menu, which should be coming up now, maybe. We can have up to 99 pages. I just have to see where we're at.
Are you gonna like put it back to normal game and then just save?
I don't know.
Abandoned Mines.
Yes. I believe this is at the beginning of Abandoned Mines, but either way. Yeah, this is the beginning. This isn't the worst thing. We're just gonna have an absurd amount of potions that we wouldn't have, but it's okay.
To be fair, 160 potions was already a pretty absurd amount.
Oh yeah, no. I would have ended with like 15 to 20 extra. So, it's okay. It happens. We'll just have the hack menu on for the rest of this, which is good in case anything else happens, because there's definitely some weirdness that can happen. But this will all be the same. If there's any messages or questions or anything, now is a great time.
I had a little bit of a dark question, maybe, if going back to some of the earlier lore, about like the Ixie Chief eating everyone. Who would be the tastiest Neopet if you were to cook them?
Definitely Giovanni the Explorer, because I mean, look at all that meat. It's got to be tender.
100%.
Okay, right.
That was my thought.
You know what? It seems like there's a consensus already. Good to know.
I love that I just had
Maybe
that.
my question is not so controversial after all.
I need to hear Shy and Woomy's answers for this.
I mean, okay, so one of these, actually I guess two of these. So this guy here, Otto, he is a little bit of a broken NPC as far as I'm concerned. He kind of just stares into the wall in Kogum Steps, and he's never in the town. He won't talk to you. It's really confusing, but I feel like he's like, you know, nobody would be that upset if the Ixie Chieftain ate him first. And then Elspeth here. There's actually two of them, but not really. Elspeth is the lady running like the consumable shop or whatever, and in there she is I believe it's a red cow in the shop. Here, she is a yellow Aisha, or not Aisha. She's a yellow Akara. Why is there two models for the same character? Great question. So like, does she really count? I don't know. It was all of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to say she's an Akara in the.
It's whatever Roberta
Yeah,
is.
but she's still a different Neopet though.
Yeah.
She's an Akara in the shop, and then an Aisha in the mines.
Is she an Akara in the shop? I don't know. We'll
Or
find
no,
out later.
wait, no. She might be an Akara for both, because no, an Aisha, I'm pretty sure, doesn't have the soft horns.
Yeah, Aisha's the old lady. Anyway, we're back to where we were. I didn't skill issue that jump this time.
That's my go.
Thank you. With that there, and I'm gonna make a safety save here because these ledges are notoriously bad, and I've already messed up once, so I don't have a great feeling about today.
Look, one mistake and you lock in. This is it.
Exactly. If
You got this.
we can hold. If you paid close attention there, you probably saw that we got like a weird fourth hit from our 3-hit combo on the Ixie Chieftain. If you're doing shield canceling, which is at the end of your 3-hit combo, you just start holding L1, which is your shield button. It'll stop the animation early, and then you can start a new set of 3-hit combos almost immediately. If you do the shield cancel and then start a set of 3-hit combos while Thor's sword, oh my goodness, is still in the ground, he can sometimes get a basically fourth hit. Also, I need to redo Fig. He can sometimes get a fourth hit that didn't actually happen, but will do extra damage. And so we'll use that on any enemies that we stun or freeze for any reason, which is respective to the motes we're using. So the water mote that we have, if we were to charge that up, because each mote has a charge attack, the water mote will freeze the enemies in like a fairly big radius for X amount of time. And we can use that to our advantage multiple times because they're either annoying or there's a lot of them or they just have a lot of health. But you won't see that too often in this run, but in especially the any% and the all bosses run, there is a lot of manipulation with that because we'll just freeze things and we'll just wail into them with that. And now we're just finishing off some quests in Kogum and picking up some more treasure maps.
I love this armor set, by the way.
This is probably the best armor set in the game, and it's so easily missable.
I would say in my opinion, it's the best behind Altador. I know that seems bandwagon, but I actually love the Altador armor.
I like the I don't know.
Fight,
Depends on,
fight,
on the
fight,
mood.
fight,
you know.
Fight. Yeah. The objectively the most missable one is after you become a knight. So normally we wouldn't have this armor yet, but after you save Kog'Maw, let me go back to Meridel. I'm also gonna set up Fig right here. So we can do Fig on loading a save as well as restarting the game, as long as we don't reset the console. And because I had to reset the console to reload into the hack menu, I just had to redo that real quick. But normally,
Actually, there's. I'll let you finish, but there is another really weird way we can activate Fig.
there is.
Yeah, I'll explain it in a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't remember. Oh, the armor we can miss is if you go to the armorer's shop, which I didn't go to in this run because we got the shield from the arena this time. After you save Kog'Maw and after you go get knighted before the next thing, there is a set of armor that she has that so many people miss because why would you ever think to check back in with her? It's so easily missable. It's an alright piece of armor, I guess. But like,
It's like the third tier, so this is the fourth.
yeah. Is this really?
I believe. I'm actually not sure. I want to say this is the fourth because this is very similar to the missable piece of armor that Clag is talking about.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
But
anything.
anyway,
I would
so we see here. We didn't really explain this.
right.
So we got the cloak, and that basically busts the game wide open from now. So again, going back to earlier with the low gravity, one of many things, surprisingly many things we can do with the cloak is mega jump, like right there. So when we equip the cloak, we can unequip it either manually or by forcibly unequipping it by attacking, because you're not supposed to wear it like during combat or something like that. So if you get hit or if you try to attack, it'll forcibly unequip the cloak. And the animation that plays, there's a brief part of it where I guess kind of the models change, and you can do a few other things with it, but one of the things you can do is basically do a double jump, which is what the mega jump is. So if, as Clag just showed right there, you pause and hold jump while the screen is fully faded to white, you can then unpause and do a jump again if you're holding L2 the whole time, and you can get like a super jump like that. And another thing that we're actually going to see pretty soon here is you can do a ledge fly.
We don't do the ledge fly anymore.
We don't do it anymore?
No, we do. I found a new route in this area that uses another mega jump, and then we do a few cloak dashes, which, with Deesh explaining the mega jump, where you would go through, you would unequip the cloak, you'd be holding L2 and R1 and forward, and then you would jump and then pause. You would just stop before pausing and just holding, I forgot it does that. Wait, that didn't save.
Yeah.
If you're holding L2, R1 and forward and jump when the screen goes white, you will just get a burst of speed forward. And that is what we call a cloak dash. And we use those to just make up distance, basically. Another fun thing is that we can set low gravity by interrupting a down slash like that. So when I jump into the air and hit something, that will reset my gravity. Initially, when I jump, it'll set it to 0.3. If I interrupt it, it will force it to be 0.3. That right there was another mega jump.
What? I don't remember this. That's so good.
Yep. And then we do a cloak dash here with an extension. And then that right there.
That looks very scary, but that is so nice.
It's very safe. And then I found a new exit for this. So if we do that, and then we do the input as if we were doing a cloak dash, it will start the cloak dash, so we'll get low gravity. We'll be sent into a ledge fly because we're close enough to the ledge, and we can do a cloak dash here. And now
So we
we're
do
out.
a ledge fly. Who's spreading this information
I
now?
forgot about the ledge fly there. You were talking about the old strat that was super cursed and like not fun.
Well, anyway. Oh my god, it's devolving. But yeah, so the ledge fly is, I really don't know how, like, the technicalities of how it works, but if you're right up against the ledge and you hold either forward or backward, as I recently learned,
It really depends.
yeah, it depends on like how you feel. Like you literally can just choose to do either depending on what you want, but you basically just, Tor goes into a state of trying to grab the ledge that was right in front of him, but he also is still going forward. So he just kind of keeps going. And if you have low gravity, you can do a very specific thing where if you hold L2
Sometimes.
and R1 and either forward or backward, just as if you were doing a mega jump, you get an upwards angle ledge fly, which is super cool and actually used in a fair number of places. But yeah, it's very, very useful. So
Do you want to go over gaining and losing cloak glitches, Mr. Cloak Glitch?
yeah, I was gonna. Also, another quick thing to note is, you might see him do, like, there are a couple places. Actually, he did one in Haunted Tombs there,
Right.
where there is like kind of a half mega jump where he does the first part of it but doesn't pause and then jump again. That's what we call a cloak dash, and it's a convenient way in a couple of places to just gain an extra little bit of distance.
Cloak dashes will also keep your low gravity so long as you don't jump a second time. So if you just do the first jump and just let it glide you, you'll just keep the low gravity. So we use that in a few places in Act 3, just to maintain our low gravity for like back-to-back jumps.
So before continuing, story update, we have a bunch of quests that we just turned into the people all over Meridel that gave them to us. We went and got knighted for saving Cogham, and then we found out that another place, the forest home of Illison the Earth Fairy, was attacked by the Wereloop King, whom normally yes, we haven't met him yet. And also, we wouldn't have met him casually at this point. Don't worry, this is not speedrunning weirdness.
Just turn into a dog
Turn
box.
in one last quest. For an entire month.
We're quoting nonsense in the game, don't worry about it.
But yes, normally she deals with him quite easily, but apparently she's basically just been a recluse, hiding, and dark clouds have been over the area, and no one's really seen her in a while, and it's becoming a real concern. So we have to go and, well, the Knights of Meridel went to help while attempting to give Tor some rest after his most recent mission, but it turns out they haven't come back yet, so we have to go in and save them. And then effectively all hell breaks loose after that, but that's later. So we're actually going to see a cloak dash right here.
I'm just gonna save in case I fall out of the water plane, because it does happen.
And that would be a game over.
Yeah. So if you hit the edge of a water plane and you slide out, say if you have momentum or something, you will just game over, because the game doesn't know what to do with you. So that's always a fun thing. There is game over water, TM, and there is also just regular respawn water. It's seemingly random, to be honest with you. But there are times where there are seemingly normal hits of water that are just like in the way, and you're like, oh, okay, I can probably walk in this, and if I fall, whatever, you'll die. It's really dumb. This game is a perfect game with no flaws and no bad decisions at all.
And no
When
glitching.
I have to game over for fun.
Yeah, real. I mean, I always could. I already showed one off. I might as well show more.
How much money do we need to get donated in the next 5 minutes for game over intentionally?
What's our goal for the entire charity?
$40 more, chat. $40 more dollars. You get another game over for pretty low price.
Intentional game over.
$40 to reset the run.
Oh no!
I mean, it is the
I'm just
last
kidding.
day.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We can't reset this run. We're an hour deep. We're gonna save 2 hours on the schedule.
So, gaining and losing cloak glitches. So, this is very complex. I actually have, let me pull up briefly my my notes on this because I have this written down somewhere. Basically, there are a couple of different ways, usually involving some kind of like cutscene or something, that actually give and take away our ability to lose cloak glitches. So, right off the bat, as we get the cloak, we always have cloak glitches right away. There should be no reason that we don't have them activated. So the most common way to regain cloak glitches is by getting the cutscene for picking up an item. If you recall, we did a glitch which completely disables that cutscene. So we have to find clever workarounds. Other things that I have noticed are brief cutscenes of falling into holes, like...
So here we get to have fun.
Well, actually, we're going to see that later.
We get to melt the boss real quick.
I'll pause. Yeah, I'll pause to let you explain the boss.
That's the boss. There you go.
Nice.
Anyway, continue.
Good explanation.
Yeah, so basically, everybody does it slightly differently. The way I do it is I hold R1. I don't know if it actually matters to hold R1, but my thought is like, oh, it speeds up towards like animation. But with Narfis's hitbox in particular, there's a few other things that can get multiple hit. But Narfis in particular is really bad about it, where if your sword stays in his hitbox for long enough, it'll just hit him multiple times. And so by timing my swings at a you can force Tor to do jabs instead, as long as you're spamming faster than you would for a 2-hit combo, or a 3-hit combo. He'll do jabs, and in doing it in the rhythm that I do it, I've found it to be most consistent, where he will jab, first Narfis will react to your attacks by jumping away after he's started circling you for a small amount of time, kind of like getting ready to attack you. And he kind of just disappears from existence, to be honest with you.
Yep, pretty much.
That also means we skip a very lore important cutscene of a certain character, which is, we did a text jump off of him early in the game, but he's the Elder Knight that talked to us before we went to Illisan's, that was like, you must go save people. He's basically encouraging us to be like a great knight. He gets killed. Rest in peace.
What the heck? Spoilers.
Well, we just skipped the cutscene. What do you mean?
Yeah, I was gonna play this game. That's a lie.
What?
Now I'm spreading misinformation. It really comes full circle.
So another on the topic of Fig floating item glitch, what I was going to say earlier is the interesting way of gaining it is actually, I found by accident. Also, there's a cutscene trigger that just barely extends past the wall there. Mm-hmm. And if you do that movement, you get out of Act 1 and into Act 2. So we were attacked by the Darkest Faerie and her cronies, and we had to escape. And that's how we do it, by hitting a wall, basically.
This game is such a clown fiesta. That's a new discovery.
Clown, yeah, that is the funniest description. But I believe what happened to me one time was I got hit by an enemy at the same time as picking up an item.
In the same area.
And basically that just instantly gave me Fig. So it's obviously not really reliable, but that is another way to do it.
So there we can do a speed clip, which is why they're not Mirka speed clips, and you can just clip through a wall there with a little bit of a specific stick movement. Don't ask.
Yep.
It's very complicated. Also,
so,
this is Roberta, by the way. This is our second character.
Yeah, so the story for Roberta is that she is the niece of both the King of Brightvale and the King of Meridel because they're brothers. But she really only is ever referred to specifically as the niece of the King of Brightvale. Don't know why.
That better.
True. But as such, she lives in the castle with her uncle, King Hagen, and she is given she's effectively like an ambassador. She's given diplomatic duties. She kind of hates them, so she's training with the guy that was just walking there, the Gellert royal sorcerer Seradar, in secret. She's training with him to become a sorceress. So this whole part of the game is basically her discussing with Queen Fiora of Fairyland the Brightvale's concern with the dark clouds hovering over Meridel, and just some of secret training as kind of the tutorial, and the Darkest Fairy taking over Fairyland as well. But we have like these couple small things to do in the meantime, side quests.
She also forgot her wand back at home. So
Yeah.
how are you supposed to train? The great thing is that they're just so happy.
It is a magical floating city. Even if there wasn't a stick, a rock, and fairy dust floating around, there has to be a wand lying around somewhere.
So yeah, we fashion, or I guess Seradar technically fashions the wand by telling us to go grab a random stick, a stone, which is like flint or something, and magic fairy dust. And that gives us the least useful thing you've ever seen in your life. And it looks like honestly, it looks like a toddler made it.
It's not just any stick. It's a fairy wood stick.
It's a magic stick. No, stop. Oh, that counted?
So this tutorial is kind of finicky. You can cheese it pretty easily. And then we just kind of have to get a few hits in on that thing, and it's good.
Yeah, I did that a little weird. But basically, that's teaching you the same stuff we know as Tor, where it's like, oh, you can do, you can attack and try attacking this thing, and then do a charge attack, which you only have to charge it for a little bit of the time for it to count. And then spam your attacks and do these, like, homing shots that do, like, 0, -1 damage. And then you just kill the bull. It's very bare bones. There's a lot of stuff that, probably should have been included, but because you got a lot of the basic combat tutorial this Tor, everything is the same for Roberta, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much.
The one thing we used, since we kind of glossed over it, with hitting that trigger at the end of Act 1 sequence, there is an attack that they cut the tutorial for in the game, which is a dash attack, which I can show that off now. If you flick the stick backwards and forwards, you can do that. Right after, or backwards and forwards, and then hit one of your attack buttons, you'll just flick yourself forward. And it's
Girl's got moves.
Real. She goes flying, to be honest. But it can, it ever so slightly extends your hitbox, beyond where you actually are, which is how we're able to hit that cutscene trigger there. And that's a newer discovery for out of that entire sequence, because one of our buddies in the community, Neil Legend, and I were messing around, and he was like, this actually came about because there is this one juppie in the sewers where we went to go do clog duty that is behind one of the grates. Normally you can grab all of them, whatever, nothing's super abnormal. This one is literally impossible to grab. There's nothing you can do. And so somebody was like, yeah, next find how to do the impossible jumpy. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. We were messing around. It ended up being that you can get it with a cloak dash, but we were trying with the jab attack, and we were like, oh, that doesn't do anything. Unfortunate. And then we had the thought of like, I wonder if, we can apply the cloak dash anywhere, since I'd messed around before with trying to like die into the cutscene trigger for Act 2 to see if we could like clip through the wall or something. So we tried cloak dashing at the wall, couldn't do it, so I ended up going out of bounds with one of the old strats. So We had one where we sat on an ottoman in the corner and ledge flied, which was horrible to line up. Horrible ledges, awful ledge fly. Plus the sisters were attacking you the whole time. It's all around. For no cloak, the only strategy we could do, also big flashing lights warning for this next cutscene. I believe sometimes it can happen. If we're lucky, it won't. Well, I guess if we're unlucky, it will happen. I've had it happen like twice ever.
It was the one before.
I've had one happen with this too, but regardless. Regardless, you would go behind a table, spam yourself into a wall, clip through it. That one's horrible to line up. The table's hard to get behind. It's just not a fun clip. There was the really old strat where you would go into the second room, they would knock down a pillar, you would go onto said pillar and ledge fly out, and then go out of bounds there. And then we had the one we used for the yes cloak categories, where you would mega jump behind a plant in a corner, and then just flip through the wall, like spamming your face into it. So by going out of bounds in one of those, you can just ever so slightly flip into the wall, because there's a small space where there's like the wall on the inside of the king's room and the wall to that hallway. And there you can just stand right in between it, and you can find right where that transition is. And we had the great idea of, you know, we can use that little jab attack in no cloak to get into the chase sequence just by hitting the trigger from the outside of it. We had the idea of, what if I find where that is, because the cloak dash didn't work, and just jab into that. And for some godforsaken reason, it extends you like a few pixels forward, and you can actually hit the trigger. And it has killed all of the horrible strats of that room. Every single one of them. It's amazing. This game has no bugs, I swear.
It's perfect.
This is the Endless Staircase. These Quiggle statues on the left will, if they're pointing their hands like both just to the side or whatever, like A posing, it doesn't mean anything. They're just like, keep doing what you're doing. But with the Endless Staircase, they'll either point up or they'll point down, and that'll tell you which direction to go on the stairs. If they're pointing up, you have to go up, of course, and if they're pointing down, you have to go down, of course. The fun thing is that you can actually see a seam in the stairs where... Nice. Okay. Where the first layer of stairs is lighter, and the second step is darker. So if you just go in between that lighter and darker stair, that'll count as you going up and then back down. And you can just continue on from there. It's perfect.
So there's another method of getting low gravity is to do a jump attack, or do jump as Roberta and then do an attack just before she lands on the ground. Another thing about gaining and losing cloak glitches that's interesting is that in Act 3, whatever we do to gain or lose them only specifically works on whichever character we do it as. So if we were to say pull a lever, that actually gives the ability to do cloak glitches back. And if we pull the lever as Tor, that only ensures that we can do cloak glitches as Tor. If we don't have cloak glitches active as Roberta, then they won't be activated after that. So we have another... Oh, that's unlucky. That guy is normally fairly nice. He normally does the if I could, I would thing like that. He just completely misses. But, so basically at this point, we're supposed to just make a beeline straight to Brightvale Village and meet with the king to discuss what's going on and just find out that, oh, we need to go and
here are all these places.
Individually beat all these blights from every place to free the sky. And then the intended order is very weird, but the most likely order would be with Bogshot, then this place, and then the rest of the Meridel areas after that. But we actually come here, skipping past an invisible wall first. So this is Market Town. They have the The Black Knight is the big boss here. And we're actually going to have probably the most notorious example of an upwards ledge fly coming up here.
So I don't mess it up.
Yeah. I would save again soon as well.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to. I should have saved over there, but I'll just do it here. It's whatever. You wanted dark lore earlier about this game. There's actually somebody somewhere, I don't remember who it is, in Market Town that's like, we should lynch the guild members. And it's like, dear God, are you okay? Like, they're really angry when the dark clouds are taking over for some reason. But yeah, there's your dark lore fact for the day of Market Town, at least.
Terrifying. I'll never forget it.
Perfect. This run will be ingrained into your memory. Okay. That setup is a little specific, but we're basically, the visual I use is that I'm above that, like, big branch on that tree to make sure that I'm actually gonna get onto this floor here. If I don't hit this floor, there's one other spot that it could save me, but if it doesn't save me, you go flying into oblivion. Theoretically, it'll eventually crash the game, but it's a soft block. It's GG. It has killed definitely a few of my runs before, and it's very sad. But it's not too terrible. And we just get to climb up this tower to the Black Knight. And we can do a cheeky little mega jump here.
Nice.
Come on, man.
Yeah, there's never any, it seems like there's never any ceiling collision in this game either.
There's
Or
very
floor
few.
collision from below. So we can, like, if we're close enough to the next floor, we can literally just, and we can jump high enough, we can just jump up through it.
And that's what we did similar to the times that I was doing a jump and then like doing a jump slash. So at the very beginning of the game, so you can remember back that far, where I jumped at that broken bridge, grabbed that ledge that didn't exist, and then jump slashed and teleported on top of the bridge. That's the same principle there. It's just a little interesting for sure. I can do this right.
Don't worry, I can remember the beginning of the game. I've been taking notes this whole time. I'll be able to do this run afterwards.
Hey, that's impressive.
Let's go.
This is a thick run. If you can actually remember like any of this,
Yeah.
'cause it's dense. Small little micro optimization there. If you get kicked by the Black Knight and you go in certain areas, he'll just start doing the sequence instead of having to do his 2 attacks prior, which I believe is like half a second faster or something, but it's iffy as to whether or not you can actually get it.
Also, again, we can like, the ledge fly does effectively give V-clip for most things, but there are some pieces of collision. I think it's specifically like pillar type things, or basically anything that isn't a wall. I don't know what the difference really would be, but if we do use that tree to like basically stop the ledge fly, because like otherwise there would be no point to doing that as a glitch. It just wouldn't help at all.
And there's a few things with ledge flies that can like save it if it goes wrong. So if you do a downwards angle ledge fly, which we'll do a few times later, if you go below the level of a ledge, after a certain amount of time, so there's like a little bit of a leeway period, I believe, it will teleport you back to the same, like, as if you were grabbing the ledge, kind of. It's a little confusing. I'll make sure I put gravity here. Where if the ledge ends directly to your left and you downward ledge fly down into the left past that edge, you'll be hanging on nothing, but if you were to just climb directly towards where that ledge is, you'll just be back where the ledge was. Same thing with, I believe this happens with some very specific horizontal ledge flies, where you'll get TP'd back to it sometimes, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it was ever so slightly downwards and that's why it happened in the past, but there's just some weirdness that can happen, and it can save it if something goes wrong. I know with that one, if you miss the tree, you'll just go a little bit further put through some more walls, and then you'll get teleported back to the ledge. So it's not entirely super scary. You can mega jump up here, and this is just to get one teensy little chest.
Yeah, so that guy gives us a few treasure maps that he jumped onto the balcony with. He gives us a few treasure maps, and this is one of them. Unfortunately, we can't talk to him before we go and defeat the Black Knight, so we have to make a special trip back here. There's no way around it, unless we found Ace, which is far away as far as I'm concerned.
It better be.
I only said that to trigger Shy, but
Ace is my biggest fear for this game, but I don't want this category or any of the categories to just devolve into just nonsense. Like, at least we get to play the game right now.
Well, we would probably separate them. Wind Waker just got Ace.
I would hope we would separate them.
Dude, the Wind Waker Ace is so freaky. It's awesome.
I still haven't properly checked it out. But anyway, another thing about, unfortunately, there's not really any beyond like the Juppy Monster 1 fight, which was the first boss at the start of the run. We don't really have any like how do I put it, choreographed boss strategies to do like reach specific damage thresholds or this and that. We just mostly have to do it casually. Where the speed strats come in are what we mentioned earlier, having the Doggle Fox for power, or for an attack power increase, and the power potions as well as supernova motes.
We can open Doggle Fox now, right? Because we go to Brightdown now? Or am I insane?
After Bogshot.
Right, we go to Bogshot first.
Yeah, we'll see the Doggle Fox in like less than 10 minutes.
Hopefully, ideally.
Actually, no, a little more than that, actually. Because we have some things to do after Bogshot, but not much.
Yeah, this section of the run, like this early Act 3, it's a great time for any sort of questions or messages. I just didn't load the area. I'm dumb. If we have any.
Yeah, I would like to take a moment to just plug some of our incentives still. Right now, we have actually a bid war open later on for our Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix run by Podgy. We can change the voice in real time during that run. So if you want to start the run with either English or Japanese, you have that choice. But of course, you're going to have to fight over it because that'll be open for the entirety of that Kingdom Hearts run. So might have to stick around a little bit longer to make sure your option stays in the lead. And while you're putting your money towards that bid war, we also still have that milestone open for Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, where if met, Jaxler will do a bonus Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2 remastered in 8% run. That's about 18 minutes long, so that's 18 minutes of extra content. It's basically an entire whole run, all for you, and it's also an 80% run, pretty rare around these parts.
And as a bonus incentive, if you meet it, Clag will do the rest of the run blindfolded.
No.
Sudden misinformation. Press 1 in chat if you love misinformation, because I'm hearing that we have a brand new milestone.
That would be ridiculous. I would hate that, to be honest.
Actually, Clag, you tried. What was it with Herv?
Yes.
He tried with a guide. Keep in mind, to do just the first part of the run, just hurting the 3 Winnies blindfolded, and it took like 45 minutes.
Yep, it took 49 minutes and I believe 57 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
It was pain.
Yeah.
Now there is an incentive for you.
God,
and there's the boss once again.
Yeah, so that boss just kind of disintegrated.
Yep, we have our supernova mode, power potion, a very strong sword now, and we obliterate his face with the power of the sun. Literally, because it's a supernova mode. Oh, come on, don't give me dead silence after that.
After
That
what?
was funny.
What do you mean, man?
That was funny. I got aired.
All right, it's time for hash out or crash out. Was Deish's jokes funny? Put it in chat if it's a hash out or a crash out.
And that was funny.
I'm cringe.
My bad. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Oh man. Back to the dishwasher. That one needs a little bit more polish.
So,
Anyways,
yeah. Anyway, getting back to the run. Getting into this place actually, specifically we're voiding out a lot on purpose here because it takes us to a specific area. That's called a water warp. We actually, to get into this area, voided out or upwarped into a water warp. And then this is kind of part of what I was talking about earlier about how regaining and losing cloak glitches. We have to be actually very careful to not lose cloak glitches on at least one of our characters. So because of weird hitbox differences, I had initially routed in that Tor should keep cloak glitches, but I don't actually know how true that is. It's just kind of habit and how things have been. But basically, some of the ways that we get back cloak glitches, I mentioned item pickup cutscenes, which doesn't work because we have Fig. The cutscene of falling into a hole, which we'll see a couple of later. Pulling levers, but also if you open any chest that is normally generated in the world over the ground,
That isn't a moat chest.
yeah, just the normal brown box chests, they give you cloak glitches back. You lose cloak glitches by pulling up a one of the treasure map chests or opening a moat chest. And that's why after the snake fight, Clag switched to Roberta because we want to open those chests as Roberta so that we can have cloak glitches on Tor. And then also certain cutscenes, like not like the FMV ones that we get to skip, but like for example, after the Narfus fight, when Tor wakes up with all the bad stuff happening. That is one example of also losing cloak glitches. So at the end of that, we wanted to pull the lever to open the gate to the next cutscene in Meridol Castle, and that we now have cloak glitches on Tor from that. So yeah, we're just going to be careful of that stuff throughout the rest of the run. It's not too terribly difficult as long as you're attentive.
The worst one is that all of these treasure chests that we have to get the map for and open, all of those take away cloak glitches. But constantly, okay, can I please grab the switch? Constantly we're switching back and forth because of that, and it's a little bit obnoxious in times. Like here, we're gonna stop in the middle of picking up stuff for his side quest just to switch to Roberta so we don't lose cloak glitches on Tor. Because there's a chest up here that we need, which is just super awesome. Please, that's on.
Yeah, it actually really cuts it. So I did the math on this, and it really cuts into our time save because each character switch from the moment you press the two buttons to switch characters to getting control of the next character is roughly 2.5 seconds. So if you think for quite a number of those, we have to go from one character to the other character and then back to the other character. That adds up to a lot of time, and we have to do probably upwards of like 10, 11 of those switches throughout the run, whereas the route before Fig didn't have to. So that cuts out like 30 seconds from the possible time save. But even with that, it still saves over 2 minutes over the course of the run, which is very, very nice.
The route without Fig is a horrible sentence that I've never heard before.
What?
I forgot that existed with the route before Fig, because I wasn't even, like, active.
I mean, that was still a sub 3 route. That was still a pretty good
Wasn't
route.
it really?
It was all right.
That's insane.
I think my last run without Fig was like a 257.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And this run is probably going to be slower.
No.
If yesterday was anything to show, then yeah.
Do I have a moment to potentially talk about our newest incentive that has just opened up?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, because we've talked about how this is Furry's Skyward Sword. What about Furry Metroid? Because in a few runs from now, we'll have Pseudo Regalia, and our next target is actually to upgrade that run to a 100% plus run, where we'll talk to every Goatling. And, you know, this is an RPG run. We love talking here. And also, if you select that target with your donation, you can also put it towards the bid war that we have open for our Kingdom Hearts 2 voice language option, or and on top of all of that, you can also have it go towards our milestone. By just one donation, you get 3 options to put it towards, and it can go towards all 3. So it's totally up to you to mix and match your own flavor. But if we meet that incentive by the start of Pseudo Regalia, Killing Pepsi will talk to every Goatling in the run, and all we need is $75 for that. So I think we can get this pretty quickly if we lock in. It's totally up to you, chat. Make sure to first donate, but also select that target when you're donating.
That will be a big W, chat. We love charity.
Lock in, chat.
Lock in. We have some time, so no rush. But I'm a speedrunner. I like to, you know, keep things fast here.
Nice.
So
by the way, that is.
Get to it.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting.
Did I not tell you about that?
No.
Oh yeah, I found that when I was still not recorded. Yeah. So that was a little speed clip right there, where you can just shove yourself in the wall and just kind of upwarp onto the thing. It's a little finicky, but it's doable.
Everything in this game is at least a little finicky.
No. That would never happen.
Not my goated PS2 game.
So here we have a fun little jump that if I don't skill issue, then I can make it. That was early, but I made it. Okay. So normally you'd have to go back down and do more platforming all the way back up. Or if I skill issued, then we would have to go down and mega jump back up with low gravity again. But it's 5 seconds faster to just do that and do this cool little jump and see little Poggle Fox real nice and close.
Yeah.
Did I just...
Oh, so yeah, we collected the Doggle Fox already.
Yeah, he was sitting over here in Brightvale. Also, I just realized I called him the Poggle Fox because he makes a cute little pog face.
This is true.
I didn't even register that. The cutscene we skipped coming into Brightvale was of the Darkest Faerie talking to this big bad evil guy, the Galert Assassin. That's him right there. He was actively choking out a Buzz, which is D: not very cool. But she has basically hired him to kill us. Mind you, we're teenagers in this game?
Yeah, I believe
Children's
canonical
game,
age
by the
is.
way.
Yeah.
I believe canonical age is 16 for both of them.
Yeah, it's questionable. But regardless, he is trying to murder us. That time we get into a little battle with him. We're supposed to fight him, and theoretically after, I believe it's he hits you a certain number of times, or if you do enough damage to him, the guards over at the front of Brightvale will see, and they'll be like, hey, get out of there, and they'll start rushing him, and he'll just poof. You can also just leave the arena, which is super cool. I don't think it's supposed to be borderless. I think those particles are supposed to have borders like they do everywhere else in the game that they appear, but whoops. Oh well. And here...
But,
Nope, go on.
Yeah, well, things are technically in order now, because the rest of the game is actually open. So once you get to Bogshot, the bridge back to Meridel is fixed, which that was technically a plot point we never went over, but we wouldn't see that. So yeah, we basically can just go to wherever we want at this point. Everywhere is open. So we're just gonna do things in order. And this is probably one of my least favorite areas of the run. We have Wereloop Woods.
Wereloop Woods is a W. That's why it has 2 W's in it and 1 L.
Also, loud noise warning.
Oh yeah, Pog Spider. He likes to freak out.
There he is.
He does that a little bit. There's one other one, but it's not nearly as loud. And this won't last for too terribly long. And that is one of the holes where you can get cloak glitches back. Not that we use it, really, but you could if you wanted to.
Yeah, because we're about to lose them again as well.
I guess theoretically.
Also, I'm sorry, I have a bone. I have this bone to pick that I have to reiterate. So when routing this, I put in, so there is actually 2 starry negs in this area. One that we just got from the chest, also nice speed clip. And then we also have another key item that we just collected there.
Oops.
There are actually 2 starry negs in this area. And the other one is really, really easy to collect. We can't use it because in this game, whenever you have any permanent consumable, so that is clovers or negs, the game, for some reason, the devs decided not to let you pick up 2 in the same area. So if you pick up both of them, only one of them actually work. And as a result, my first 3 runs of this game were all invalid. And I had to do an emergency workaround for a marathon like 2 days after I found this out. Anyway, I'm done.
Yeah, that'll actually come into play later when... Actually, I believe it comes into play not here. Where there are 2 different types of clovers. There's 4 leaves and there's 12 leaves. And of course, 12 leaves gives you more luck. But there in Shadowglen is a chest that we have to open that gives you a 4-leaf clover, but there is also a 12-leaf on the ground, like maybe 100 meters away at most. Also, skill issue. If you were to pick up the 4-leaf before you pick up the 12-leaf, you're just down 2 clovers, and you can't max out the luck meter as far as I'm concerned? Like,
they're both 12. They're both 12 leaves.
They're not both 12
4
leaves.
leaves. Yeah, in Shadowglen, right?
Yeah, in Shadowglen, the chest is a 4-leaf.
Yeah, the chest is a 4-leaf, but there's also 2 12 leaves. So the 4 leaves and 12 leaves are not the same item. So you can do, if there's one of each in the same area, you can use both of them. But if there's one 12-leaf clover that's just randomly sitting on the ground that he collected earlier. Actually, no, he didn't collect it yet.
We can't.
But there's also a patch where there's a 12-leaf, and that one doesn't do anything because we already collect the other one.
I had no idea.
I mean,
we're learning together.
Yeah, really. The things I learn about this game on an
Professor
almost daily
Deesh,
basis.
thank you for joining us on commentary.
Yeah. Hello, Preach.
yes, sir.
There we are getting the story item, which is a fang tooth necklace, I believe is what it's called. It's basically a fang of some dead guy that opens a skull to let us into, like, almost the Wereloop hideout. The great part is that we don't need it to get in. The bad part is that we're playing 100%, so we need it, and we need to hit it to get out. So, unfortunately, we have to take a small detour. It's like 2 minutes or so. I got the long ledge fly. To just come grab this and waste everybody's time, which is just lovely. But
Yeah, we only get it for the story flag because I don't know if we actually keep it through the end of the game. I don't remember if that's one of the ones, but effectively it would be that reason plus quests.
Yep. It's quite dumb. Also, the type of enemy that guy was, which is a Death Knight, there's not too many of them in the game, but they are notoriously awful and obnoxious to deal with. They wail on you, they do a lot of damage. They have some weird hitboxes, I feel like, sometimes, and they block so well sometimes that it's just not fun to play against. So I'm glad that went well, kind of ish, but we have another fun out of bounds that is probably the out of bounds that I killed the most runs with in this game, if I am remembering correctly. Just because there's like, what, 5 things that can go wrong with it. So we're just gonna grab this ledge.
Part of the reason this is one of my least favorite areas is because, like, in the run, the out of bounds collision here is really like it's wacky everywhere else, but it is exceptionally wacky in this area because, like, at any moment it's fairly, like, you can avoid most of the bad parts for the most part, but at any moment you might just get thrown to a completely random point away, and it's like it really throws you off for the moment.
So what happened there is I went a little bit too close to the inbounds area and came back out near the beginning of the graveyard, which is obviously not ideal. Whereas we can just skip directly to the boss if we stay out of bounds there. So we just have to do this correctly. If I can stop skill issuing this mega jump, that would also be really nice.
Also, doing that jump on the way in skips a cutscene, which not only takes away cloak glitches, but is long. Also, I found the thing that happens twice in the game. We have 2 Gellert Assassin fights, even though one of them doesn't really count.
Oh, man. Does it count as 2 Jumpy Monster fights, too?
Oh, yeah, 2 Jumpy Monster fight. That was the most obvious one. I should have remembered that.
Okay, that was strange. I've never been stuck there before, but we're good. Fun fact, if you keep wrapping clockwise around these planes here, you can actually go all the way around to the front of Werewolf Woods and hit a game over plane before it even loads in on your end. Because it'll load in, you'll immediately be inside of it, and it'll just game over you. I have killed a run like that before. That was so fun. Yeah, that's how that was supposed to look. There's this, like, really large green plane that I'm looking to get onto. I went too far outside, and then we just have to cut in between these, like, pods of collision. These are the Werewolf burrows, so there's upper, middle, and lower. We're going into lower now, and that's where the Werewolf King is going to be, who got turned into a doggle fox for an entire month. And normally what would happen is that you would come in here after seeing, oh, Illison needs help because, you know, she got hit. In a cutscene that we missed, the Werewolf King stole her necklace, so we know he has it, but I'm being stubborn. Okay. So we would normally come into the Werewolf burrows, and they would decide to split up, because splitting up is the greatest idea when the world is falling apart. Everybody knows this. And in doing so, Roberta finds the necklace, and instead of getting Tor's attention and is like, hey, I found it, let's get it, she decides, I'm gonna go grab it, and then I'm gonna go find Tor. Can we be nice, please? In doing so, she fell directly into the Werewolf King's trap, where she steps onto the platform, grabs the necklace, and it just puts her in a cage, which was flying there in the background, and that's what we spawned by after that cutscene that we just skipped. And so, you wouldn't have Roberta here. You would be stuck as Tor and fighting the Werewolf King as Tor. So this is really strange to be fighting this boss as Roberta, having only played the game casually for a long time as Tor in this area. And it honestly makes the fight so trivial. It's, like, not even funny. It's ridiculous. But that's what we get for breaking games, I guess. And we're upwarping here, and we are at the skull that was mentioned before. This is the cutscene that would play when we got the necklace here, and then it would stay open as we go in and out freely. Once we have the necklace and we've left, it closes, and you can no longer go back in there. So if there's any treasure you missed as a casual, it closes. You can't get in there casually. You have to do some weird glitches nonsense to get back in there, which is also super fun. The only thing really in this next area is just we're going to go around, collect some things. We're going to do one mega jump out of bounds and then go out of bounds back to Market Town. So any questions, messages, anything like that? Flavor text?
Yeah. I mean, I love game design, and this game... Anyways,
Game design with their
I
passion.
do want to... Yeah, for sure. I do want to shout out real fast that this marathon, of course, is hosted on the No Glitches Allowed channel. Several members of the Completithon team also work on staff for No Glitches Allowed, which is an event that features glitchless or no major glitches speedruns, kind of the direct opposite of what this game is. That event usually takes place in the spring. This is kind of our winter event. So feel free to follow us on our Twitch right here, twitch.tv/noglitchesallowed, and noglitches.bluesky.social on Blue Sky as well. And also join our Discord so that you can join us every time an event takes place here, both Completethon or No Glitches Allowed. Very welcoming community, super friendly, and is a great place to hang out, watch speedruns.
And W
Big
host.
vouch.
W host.
And some are saying this. A few are saying this.
Oh man.
A few are correct.
Only a few though.
Many more are saying W run and runner is what I'm hearing in my
Wrong.
earpiece from my producer.
W commentary.
Also correct.
I see that
No.
Clagnarok is still spreading misinformation, unfortunately. So,
Listen,
all right, Deesh, it's time to derust. Better prep real fast.
Yeah, this is true.
All right, give me a
this is
sec.
true. Why did I come to Market Town?
You're supposed to.
Yeah, for this. I was like, why is Torin not here? Did I forget
Okay.
to talk to Torin again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When I have to visit Market Town because I'm bored.
Market Town was probably my favorite area as a kid, I'm not gonna lie. It's just...
It's a little something
was
called
pretty nice.
throwback.
So we have an interesting thing here. So first, we do need to come back to Market Town because we have 3 quests from the people in there for like deliveries, and the first one we need to give to the witch in the hut in Wereloop Woods, and then we need to come back to deliver something across to the Kingdom of Meridel. So for some reason, the Western Brightvale, like, overworld area is the collision is loaded in while we are in the Market Town Town Hall. So we can just go there, hit the collision, and then have that part and the first bit of Meridel Plains loaded in, and then upwarp into Water Warp, and then be spawned right here. We have a clover, and then talk to Gord, and this is another place where there are 2 4-leaf clovers. There's a patch, and then there's the one that you can buy right there, and you need to you can only get one. So this is a neat little
complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, so we mentioned earlier that when you hit a water plane but kind of keep preserving momentum forward and go off of it, well, weird things happen. So if you're alone, most of the time, it'll just kill you and game over.
Asterisk.
But if you're in Act 3 and you have both characters, it'll swap you back to one of the other characters, whichever one you weren't. And in some cases effectively pseudo kill the other character, but for some reason in that particular spot, as well as one other, if you hit the water in such a way, now there wasn't really any wall collision for the little cliff, so he went like underground for a little while without upwarping. If you hit the water in such a way that you then keep moving and upwarp onto the ground, it'll switch characters, but it like wrong warps you to the start of Cogham, and it saves a lot of movement time, probably like 20-30 seconds, and then we can continue to do a bunch of other stuff. So I believe there was nothing with Matara there, right? No.
We just talked to
There
her.
was the right, yeah, there was the
Basically,
was
some
it?
dude in
Or
Brightville
part
wants
of
to know
another-
about the Dark Clouds, and Motara is like a buddy from over here in the Meridel land by Cogham. And he was like, what do you think? And so we're like, okay, I guess I'm a Skyrim courier, and I'm just gonna tell you or whatever you want, but whatever.
Yeah, there's quite a number of side quests that are like go back and forth across the entirety of the two kingdoms and it's like it's so much running, but thankfully this route is really, really, really efficient. So we only have to basically make our one default trip to Bright Vale because we start there, back, and then a wide trip to this area, and then later on we'll go and do a big cleanup sweep of Bright Vale, and it's really efficient. But that's kind of part of another neat thing about the sequence breaking of doing Bogshot and Market Town before actually going to Bright Vale, because the quest that starts in Bright Vale is only activated once you've beat Bogshot. So we can beat Bogshot, go to Bright Vale, start the quest, and then not have to make a separate trip back or anything.
One little note about the, I guess, the wrong work that we did, where we pseudo-killed Roberta. We were messing around in the any percent run. And for a long time, it was like, okay, there's, you know, Act 2's the slowest act, there's nothing we can do, we don't have the cloak, we can't get but so many speed potions. We would only really need 2 more speed potions. And people have, like, used the hack menu to bring the cloak into Act 2, but we could never legitimately get it in. One day, you know, I was messing around and accidentally found out how to do that, but we were trying to figure out how we could route the any percent yes cloak, because there's yes cloak and no cloak, where basically you either use or don't use the cloak of heroes. But between those two routes, or between the yes cloak route, we were like, what else can we do to speed up this route? And I was looking into 100% around this time, and I was like, can we use this wrong warp? And I'm messing around with it because, you know, I just started learning, I think, or like was just about to start learning it. And
You got the texture thing.
I did get the texture thing. Yeah, there's a weird texture thing that happens there sometimes where it doesn't play like the white smoke. It almost looks like a card backing. But
Anyway,
so what Deej was saying earlier, where it would normally switch you to the other character, in Act 1, and respectively you could do it in Act 2, you don't have the other character. And I believe if the other character's dead, it'll just game over you. But I could be wrong about that. So if we just instead were to almost delay getting upwarped onto the ground, because that water isn't game over water by default. If you jump at a very couple frame window, like maybe 2 max, and just slide through the water during the drowning animation, because it's a very set amount of time until he gets placed back on the ground, and then he falls off after X amount of time of that drowning animation and goes back up onto the ground to start the game over animation. The game over animation can't go long enough to trigger the game over to happen, and he'll have finished the drowning animation. We'll get warped to, where was it, right about over here, where we just warped from Roberta to Tor, and you can just use it in Act 1. It is incredibly precise, it is not faster, and it was pain. But, you know, it's always just a fun little thing to be like, there's this super niche thing that you can do that's like not fun, not helpful, nobody likes it, and it was just a waste of everybody's time. I think we spent like a whole day looking into this or something. It was, the amount of that I heard in that hour span was not fun.
I don't know, that sounds kind of awesome, low-key.
Oh. Oh, buddy.
Let me host that. I lock in.
Yeah, you got it. So here we just ran nearby-ish to the Merry Acre Farms, and there's a few sound cues that you'll get to be like, oh, you got a quest, or oh, some significant thing has happened. We had to get close enough to Merry Acre Farms that we saw, oh, all of the villagers are missing. What is happening? And turns out they're in Shadowglen. It ends up that they got abducted by like the tentacles here or whatever. So we had to go there to hit that trigger since it's the main quest, and then we just do a small little tree clip there, and we're back in Shadowglen. And this area is fun, but we don't see it more than twice. This is the 12-leaf we were mentioning before. And then over here is the 4-leaf chest that I so rudely misunderestimated would only give you the 4 and would not allow you to pick up the 12. Sorry.
So I have to ask, were you collecting both clovers, not realizing that you were collecting both clovers, just thinking that one of them was probably not working and the route was stupid?
You mean the 12 and the 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we had to pick up the 4 anyway, or I guess you would end up picking the 4 just by being next to it and opening the chest, and I was like, kind of dumb, but we need the 12, and I just didn't know.
So you thought we got the 12 earlier specifically,
Yeah,
so that we would have the better benefit.
that is exactly
Okay.
why. No, just never thought to mention it, you know. Oh man, this game is a perfect game with no bug glitches or flaws whatsoever.
Yeah. Actually, back on the topic of the funky water wrong warp, I mentioned that there is another spot that we can do the same thing. We actually are going to do it with the other spot, so it's going to be soon after this area.
So here I'm looking for a little bit of, so that black collision right above me, yep, there is a invisible wall or invisible floor right behind it, and we can just walk all the way over here. And that skips an entire cutscene with the Galert Assassin, that skips him taking away our cloak glitches, that skips us going through this long, obnoxious tunnel that's really, really loud for no reason. And is just overall better, and I don't have to have my ears bleed every time I go through this section in Act 3 anymore, which is really nice. And here we have the only boss in the game, for God knows what reason, that Tor cannot damage. It doesn't matter what you do. It is physically impossible. And this is functionally the same as the first time we fought the jumpy monster.
This boss is just weak to girl power, and Tor doesn't have it like that.
This is true. This is why Lucy is the
We
W
figured it
character.
out. We've solved it.
We solved it. And that's
Gonna upload a video. Mystery solved after 20 years, and it's just me saying that sentence.
This game is gonna be 20 years old this year. Am I?
Yeah, sorry.
Am I
This
old?
game. Well, up for a debate, arguably. It depends. When did you first play this game?
06.
How old, rather, is a better question.
I was 5.
You're not old. So I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think that's old.
Hey, listen
Okay,
here,
let's be nice.
baby. Yeah, Douche being
I'm
the
sorry.
younger one here. So,
Also, fun fact, in that cutscene, it makes more sense if you're Tor, but we're Roberta, so the text box that Tor are saying, the text boxes that Tor is saying is just like It says Tor, but it's just hovering over Roberta's dopey little face.
And she says, thanks, Dad. They're not dating. They're not married. It doesn't matter. He's just Dad now. Thanks, Hubert.
Yeah.
That was always very funny as a kid, not knowing that's why it happened. But a very important
and
part.
then the Lucy text that says, "Are you Tor's girlfriend?"
Yeah, no. That is always fun.
All right, first we called for the furries. Now it's time to shipper. Put your favorite Neopet ship in the donation messages. All right, this sucks. I'm being pulled off with a big stick.
Fun fact: these two are actually like genuinely about as close to an official thing as Neopets seem to be willing to get without outright having them kiss.
Yeah, pretty much.
because of site plots. Nothing you will see in the game. But anyway, we return to the print? Question mark?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I almost forgot. Yeah, there's been a time I've killed a run because I didn't talk to Torin there, because you can't talk to him while it's still dark, even though he still has the swirly eyes and his whatever. You can talk to him once you save Maryacre Farms, and if you don't talk to him, he will not appear in Market Town later. And I killed a run because you lose about 5 minutes doing that. There's the other death blow. That one is significantly harder to do, because there's like so little room for you to get under the ledge, so you still get the upwarp, but it's not too bad. Let's see. Now we're gonna go back into Cogim and check things out there, turn in the 2 more quests. And then I believe we get to go into the sewers after that.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Another thing, throughout a couple trips through this area, Draken Ridge, Clag has been killing the little purple Drakanax, and what that is important for is a side quest that he's gonna technically start and complete all right now. Well, not right now, but in a minute. And the quest is basically like animal population or like predator population control kind of thing. The Drakanax are overpopulated, and someone was sent to hunt them down, and he basically pays you to bring. We were talking about, you know, taking like
Body
spoils
parts.
of war,
Yeah.
as like a trophy. He has you bring him, get this, their teeth, their removed teeth after killing them as proof, and he pays you for the teeth.
Which he pays
So we're
you a good
beefing with
amount.
dentists now.
Now. Yeah, he's actually the tooth fairy. That's all this is. We're getting paid for giving him teeth.
Whoa, wait, it's like the game title. Oh my god, Brain Blast.
What?
Neopets, the darkest fairy, the dentist fairy,
Oh my
etc.,
God.
etc. Okay, I see. My joke is too high comedy.
Hey,
All right, someone make this image.
Neopets the
Send it to me after
Dracanac
this
fairy.
run.
Oh man.
We need to get Herb's sister.
No. We do not need Mocha on this.
Yes, it'll be so good.
It'll be so cursed.
I feel like I should be scared to ask who Mocha is.
Mocha is our resident artist who, along with her sister Herv, occasionally creates pieces of art to immortalize our our disturbing thoughts about this game.
Yeah.
Such as Tor's little sister Lucy, but
Giga
like,
Chad.
proportionally sized to her head, which is a whole big deal.
Mhm.
But anyway, continue.
You know it's bad when Jaxler's calling for the mods.
Yeah. So we actually have this is spoilers. So if you're very like intent on not knowing the lore, the old knight from the beginning of the game. He is actually King Altador, which is this long forgotten to time, well, not long forgotten, but like long lost to time and God knows what happened to it world, or I guess city. And I don't remember who said it or why it happened, but somebody called him Daddy Altador. And so we just have this wonderful picture of Father Altador that we just spread around. And so
I could have gone my life without knowing that, personally.
It has come very common circle that whenever Deesh is playing this game, we have to make him uncomfortable by calling him that.
Yeah, I was quite happy that when we first passed by him, he wasn't mentioned, and I thought, okay, I'm safe.
Nope. I was gonna mention it.
Somehow I feel like this is my fault.
No.
No, trust me.
It was gonna happen.
Okay, great. Good to know.
I don't think there's too many that we have that are insane.
I forgot we were doing a speed run for a second.
What Shy in chat said, but anyway, another fun thing about the Draconac Teeth quest, you can actually make it incompletable. So if you give too many teeth to the
Douglas, the Draconac hunter.
The hunter. Yeah. He actually, he gets mad at you and he says, like, okay, I'm gonna pay you less, or I'm not gonna pay you at all for the teeth. And the game plays its, danger jingle to show that, hey, you messed up. And then, now I presume it's supposed to be a glitch, but... it's not supposed to be this way, but the quest actually just stays on your screen then, and then you can't complete it. So yeah, we have to be careful to only give him a specific amount.
That's some game over floor TM. We saw it briefly. We'll see it again not too long from now. But there's a spider that just chills out on the save point there. That's just his default position. He's trying to save his progress. He's just like us. I don't know why that's the position they chose for him, but just a
Speaking
little
of
silly.
saving your progress, probably before Drake.
Yeah, I should. What? Stop that. Stop that. This area
And then
in
when-
particular... What? Sorry?
Oh no, just running over the little tile on the floor where the lever is to get a quest trigger. We have to be very particular about that in this area because things get weird with that.
How is this not working? So this wall goes a little bit higher than the actual wall, and you can just mega jump just barely over it with low gravity. And a way that I line up a lot of my mega jumps is using the health bar to determine where I'm going to land. So for that one, I look for just a little bit of the ceiling above the crown molding to be underneath the bar of health, and that'll tell me that I should just barely make that jump. There's a few other times, like in the book, in the library, in the book place. In the library in Brightvale, if you line up, here's our spider friend. Lining up the center of the health bar with the top of the bookcase, when you do a mega jump with low gravity, you will always grab the edge of the ledge, which is just, it's just an easy visual thing to know. For anybody that's trying to get into the game, there you go. There's a quick little tip from Clog. Here we have a funny little ledge fly where if you do something similar to a cloak dash... Why did that not work? You can start a cloak dash, get low gravity, and then do the ledge fly. There you go. And that makes... Oh, come on. That makes this a little bit easier. Instead of having to do a really tight mega jump with high gravity, because there's no way we can get low gravity, at least with 4 here, which is no longer the case. You could just do a cloak dash instead. Do that. Hope I don't fall in bounds. I did. That's not the worst thing ever. It just means you have to take a longer path here. Go into here, you'll get harassed by these death knights, and then you can just ledge fly through a wall anyway. slightly more obnoxious, really. This is one of the forced upgrade swords, casually. There's not a lot of those. There are only 2 of them, actually.
Yeah, it would be... I don't know if the Squire's sword is technically a forced upgrade.
It's not.
From Wooden Sword? Okay. No, right, it's not. Then yeah, this is the only one, and then Altador Sword later on.
So I'm gonna save here because this boss has the potential, though unlikely, as long as I do everything right, to fall through the floor. Specifically, if you throw him over there, he can fall through the floor and just into the oblivion for no reason. It's super cool. And beyond
This is
that,
also the best music of the game.
allegedly the best music of the game. We can never hear it because this guy's a little loud, but, you know. This entire section of the game has a lot of game over hits, and it makes it quite spooky without saving. Especially because a lot of them are like, they can go wrong for a number of reasons or sometimes out of your control. So when we were going over into that place where I grabbed those keys from the one night, or the one night, or Ghost rather, and then jump back out, there's a huge death plane below there that is reliable, but a little bit, you have to be kind of close to the edge of it to not fall down and just game over for no reason. And then here we do a sketchy lead fly that has the potential to game over you for a number of reasons, including it technically can crash the game. You can sometimes keep momentum once you land on the y=0 plane above us, and it will put you into free fall sometimes, even if you're holding L2 to not go into free fall. And you'll just fall for like 10 seconds and then game over. And it's really not fun because this is pretty deep into the run.
Also, I like how you picked up 2 extra safety speed potions as if you don't have 9,900 too many.
Yeah, right. I'm used to doing that. Okay, so there is a big flashing lights warning here, by the way. I can say when it's over, but this ledge fly guarantees that there will be flashing lights. Let me do this.
Actually, back on the topic of music, and onto a topic adjacent to that. First off, the music in this game is insane. Like, genuinely top tier any video game, and it's very underrated. But there's actually a lot of music from the game. This might be manageable.
I'm so scared.
No. Okay.
Sedge.
Yeah, so that's a time where I was holding L2 and I just continued to slide after that, so there's nothing I could do about that. Sometimes the game will just decide that's what's going to happen. So we just have to go back through and beat this boss again. But yeah, that flashing lights will go through one more time, hopefully.
But yeah, there's a lot of music in this game, yeah, that is like cut. And there's one in particular, which is the like in-game name that it goes by is Sist, S-I-S-T, and it's this really like heavy, intense, fast battle theme, and it's like we have no idea why they cut some of the music they did, because like so much of it is just so good, and man, it's just not. It was just cut for some reason, but someone from the community actually got in touch with, I believe also Monster, so shout out once again, got in touch with one of the original devs, and they estimated that they had to cut about 25% of the content they made for this game, which includes another place called Ancient Castle Spires, which is actually still... which is actually still in the game and fully functional. It was supposed to be in between the Knight's Crypts area and the area we're in now. But the exit was basically stitched onto the entrance of this place, and the other place was just taken away. But if you go out of bounds here, you can actually enter Ancient Castle Spires, and once again, it's a little bit more buggy, but it is totally functional otherwise. It has, you know, technically its entrance, and you can actually, it's very difficult and weird. You can actually reach the transition that it was supposed to have to come into this fight. So,
Flashing lights
yeah,
warning once again.
I guess actually if you want and there's time at the end of the run, you could reload this save.
Yeah. There's plenty of things we could show off again. Flashing lights warning.
Breaking save points too, that's true. Yeah, flashing lights warning.
Oh my god, okay. Well, give me a second. Yeah, this Let's Play in particular is obnoxious. Go on.
Oh, that was me.
I was just saying, you got this, I believe.
I'm getting some weird angles. Again, flashing lights warning. I'll save when I'm up here, just to make sure. Yeah, so that giant pillar is the like elevator to come from Ancient Castle Spires. Fun fact. I can actually... I'll save it here so I can always reload this. So if I wasn't holding L2 here, when I dropped down there just now, I would have just fallen into the game over pit. There's this little black circle we're aiming for. You can kind of see it better right now. And we're just going to fall right into that. And so if you're holding...
It does disappear, but there's actually a good cue to still see it.
There's like a chest or something below it. It's...
Yeah.
It takes a little bit to like know what you're looking for, but once you can see it, you're like, oh, that's okay. But we did a significant sequence break, I guess. That would normally be like the last thing you do before coming and leaving Act 3. And what we're gonna do, or what we just got, was Fiora's Rod, which is the fairy of Fairyland. Why does she not have her wand on her even though she's alive? I don't really know. But it's the most, well, I guess it's not technically the most powerful wand in the game. It's the most powerful wand in Act 3, as far as I'm concerned. And we get to use it for a little bit. And since we can go grab it now, we can just take care of a... Is it only one boss? Is it just Alert Assassin that we take care of there?
Yes.
Well, we can take care of him, and he's a meaty butt. With this wand, making it significantly easier. Also with that...
yeah, that's another...
Go on.
That's another sequence break. We're supposed to do that that area with the Undead Drake last before basically finishing...
Done like 2 days in a row now.
Finishing Act 3.
And that dark pillar of smoke that we like kind of just walked through. Hey, I'm dumb. It's basically the Darkest Fairy like put up barriers and be like, you can't go back into Meridel. My sisters are protecting it and whatever. I don't really know, but you cannot pass through that without Illisan's special orb of magical things. And in order to do that, we need to save Illisan. To save Illisan, we need her amulet from the Werelic Woods. More importantly, which we're going to see in a cutscene here in a second, is that the Galert Assassin, so the lift we took in Act 1 to get up into these treetops, will be cut down, as we'll see. And this is the reason we had to go to the family farm first before coming here. Well, I guess casually at least. We have to come over here to hit this cutscene trigger to make the game load the boss fight. That's the same thing we would do with Narfus in the other categories, is we would have to come over here. We wouldn't have to drop all the way down. We'd have to come over to this platform. And in doing so, the fastest way up is to use this rope gun instead of going all the way over and out of bounds like we do in all bosses. But we will just come over here, and this is a setup we found recently. So Deesh mentioned that, oh, awesome, cool. Anyway, Deesh mentioned that ledge flies and whatnot with Roberta were interesting, to say the least. Right? With Roberta's both idle animations and if you were to press square to like do that and go into sneak or jumping, he moves ever so slightly out of the way. And we can use that here and in one other place to do a very specific lineup. We did this lineup with Tor in Act 1 to get up to the Narfus fight, or we would have in other categories to get up to the Narfus fight. But here, if we jump 4 times, in the last one we interrupt the jump and give Roberta low gravity like that, we can do the same ledge fly and ledge fly right up to the Galactic Facet because it's the same exact boss arena. And it was just a fun little neat optimization. We can cut out a character swap there. This boss fight is notoriously obnoxious because he just decides to be a butt sometimes. And by sometimes, it's most of the time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the routing for this this whole part of the game is actually quite specific. So we actually go back to get the rope gun because even though we can do like out of bounds shenanigans to get back up to this area, it's actually just faster to use the rope gun by quite a bit as well. And then we want to, the reason we go to Underground Meridel and fight the Undead Drake before fighting this guy is actually to get Fiora's Rod here, because Fiora's Rod is the second most powerful wand in the game. We don't keep it permanently. It's the most powerful one we have access to right now. So
that one just went through.
Basically, yeah, that was a scam. So yeah, basically we get to just destroy him compared to any other weapons that we would use.
Here we go.
Also, yeah, is there any reason you put cloak on while you were doing the ledge fly?
So I've found that for whatever reason, the mobs, specifically the wizards, tend to target Roberta more than Tor during that ledge fly. And the wizards will just hit you out of the air because they have homing and it's not very fun. And in my testing, which is fairly limited, putting the cloak on during that ledge fly, the reason you get the cloak is so the things don't see you and they don't notice you as fast, which like kind of works. During the fly, it seems to delay them seeing you and they're not as likely to hit you. It's like maybe a 15% increase of not being seen, but it's something. It has made my life much happier.
Neato, I think you explained that to me once. But yeah, that was for the sake of someone in chat.
Yeah, no problem. Funnily enough, when you fall into water that isn't game over water, it will do damage to you, like a tiny bit. You can never die to falling into non-game over water. It will just respawn you and you will regenerate. And there are cases where, specifically with the Galert, with the Galert Assassin fight, if you shoot a projectile at him and he reflects it, and it hits you after the cutscene to go, or like the fade to black to go to his like next dialogue cutscene is, it will stop you from game overing. Like it won't kill Roberta, but you'll be locked at 0 health, like true 0. So even if you jump into water at true 0, it will not kill you, even though everything else will. it's just a super weird thing. They're like, I don't want you guys to accidentally die to game over water. And if you try, or not game over water, to regular water, and if you try dying in regular water, just jumping over and over and over again, you will regen faster than you can jump in the water, which is just such a strange thing to put in this game.
And yet they have shallow ponds up to your ankles be game over water.
Yeah.
Not really specifically unless you go out of bounds, but
it still exists.
still the stupidest places have. Because here's the thing, there is a place we completely skipped over it in the underground area, where the water level rises and lowers every few seconds, and when it's high, it's game over water. But when it's low, you get to walk in it. So, and basically, what the game is saying is that all in the span of like 2 seconds, you jump into the water, sink into the water, and drown. All in like a second.
Yep.
You can't even hold your breath long enough for the water to go down to ankle level.
It's super cool. The best part about that is there is actually I think it's 2 stretches of area where you have to wait for the water level to go down. What am I doing? And then go into the water, and while it's rising on you, you have to sprint through it and just hope that you timed it right, which is, it's fairly lenient, but like the amount of times that has happened as a kid and I just game overed because I timed it slightly wrong or like I ran poorly is just so annoying of a mechanic to put in the game. And it makes no sense, especially for the fact that Roberta, being an Akara, can breathe underwater. Can we address this fact? Why does she drown?
I didn't know that.
If it's not breathe underwater, their horns have some functionality where like they are aquatic beings. So like he shouldn't just drown. But you know, that's a bone to pick with Deck 9. Or former Deck 9 employees, I guess. Yeah, for those that didn't know, the company that made this game, Idle Minds, is now Deck 9, the people behind Life is Strange. Weird.
That is wild. I did not know this.
Yep. It's crazy.
This game has
natural transition.
This game has clout, by the way. The voice actor for the Old Knight / King Altador is the voice actor for Obi-Wan in the 2008 Clone Wars series.
Why do you know that?
James Arnold Taylor. I have told you this like 4 times.
I've never watched Star Wars.
Still, this game has clout.
Yeah, they're dark. They're everywhere. We're clearing them. Next question.
You know what? Talking about people who have clout, I have a donation real fast if we have time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, because we got $25 from Zokubun, the producer on shift right now. I got called out by Shovel Claws, so here's a W Run and Runner in commentary. Thanks for the nostalgia vibes and misinformation. First time I've heard that sentence. So that $25 went towards not only the English option in our Kingdom Hearts voiceover language bid war, but also $25 towards our pseudo regalia target that's coming up in just 2 runs, which that target needs to be met by the start of the pseudo regalia run. So you don't have too much time left. You have until the end of this run and then the end of Soul Reaver, and hopefully the end of Soul Reaver 2 if we can meet that any % bonus run. So not much time left. Make sure to get your donations in for the Girls Who Make Games Scholarship Fund and get them in fast because time for this run is coming up in faster than you could probably finish the game. And then we'll have that Soul Reaver run.
Yeah, we're not too terribly far off the games, and we're closing out Act 3 now, and then there is Act 4, which is not very long. We basically have to go through 4, like, trials, more or less, and then just pick up a few, like, equipables and get believe it's 2 or 3 more permanent upgrades, and then the chests. And I want to say that area is only, what, 10, 15 minutes? I don't even know what time we're at, and I don't know where we would be in the run. I don't remember.
Run timer is about 2:30, 2:31. And which area are you talking about again?
How long, like, Act 4 is?
Oh yeah, it's like 20. It's not even 20 minutes, I think.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's not very long,
Yeah.
so...
It's actually
Go on.
quite, again, if you want to play this game casually, it's actually a very cool area casually. Unfortunately, a little barren in terms of stuff to do beyond the story, but it's still actually a very neat area to go through.
My biggest gripe with this game is that once you finish it and save the world, you cannot go back into the world. It is...
Yeah, there's no like post-game feature.
Oh, it makes me so angry. That's
We've been talking a lot about game design, and that's one of the least game designed ever.
You're not wrong. Yeah,
I stuck the landing on that joke. Right.
So
I believe your quote earlier was I'm a fan of game design, and this game.
Yeah, and this game. That was
That's it.
Hey,
And
you're
this
forgetting
game.
the anyways that was accurate, okay? There was spreading misinformation again. Back at it. Oh.
Deesh.
Listen. Technically, what I said was true.
I mean, technically, I guess.
So Deesh and I have a little bit of beef every now and then because Deesh is a buffer baby and I am a no buffer Giga Chad. Right there.
He loses time to it every time, so I'm
That's
right.
wrong. I saved time because I got it first try that time. In that lighthouse, we go to pull that lever, and to do it, what Deej normally does is he buffers a L2 jump. So if you drop off a ledge with low gravity, you can get coyote frames if you're holding L2. And when you let go of L2, you have about 1 frame to hit jump to input it. Otherwise, you'll just fall to the ground. And, you know, Deesh being the person he is, buffers it. I'm stubborn.
The person I am.
So
The
instead...
implications of this sound very deep.
Oh, yeah. So I run directly off the platform that he would normally start doing the buffer off of, and just wag time, letting go of L2, and then jumping for the 1 frame input. And every time there's contention about it. It's like, it's not faster. It's like, well, if I hit it, it's faster. And I hit
Also, technically, misinformation on the internet, it's not called getting coyote frames. It's called a coyote jump, after Wile E. Coyote's habit of standing in midair before realizing that he's not standing on anything, because it's basically a midair jump. So, just preventing more misinformation on the internet.
Listen.
But yeah, this whole section is the Bright Veil cleanup that we mentioned earlier. Basically, the first trip is story / setup, and then we have story stuff and also some side 100% stuff in Meridel area, and then pure side quest cleanup as another trip to this Bright Veil area.
Here is a little area that we get to skip the entirety of. That is really obnoxious casually. It is, I believe, called the Spider Caves, no? Or is it Ruined Caves?
Just Mountain Pass.
Mountain Pass?
Mountain Passage.
So this takes you from right outside Bright Veil into Bogshot, which we're going to take into Bogshot, which we need to come over for Spider Jump Scare. We need to come over for that.
It's also not really a shortcut.
No, it takes longer. But the entirety of everything in that area is game over. The water, the pit, everything. And there's some really obnoxious platforming, including the fact that this is the way that what just happened to my camera. Zipline jumping gets introduced to you, where if you're on a zipline and you hold a direction and you hit X to jump, it will throw you from one line to the other. And if the game doesn't teach you this. You're just expected to figure it out. And so the first couple times you'll do it, like as a casual, if you don't know about this, you'll be going, you'll see zip line, you're like, okay, oh, the line's ending, cool. What do I do now? And then you'll fall to your death, and it's just super cool.
Yeah. I
I
think some of the water and pits aren't game over early on, but yeah, like that's still only when the movement isn't obnoxious.
Yeah. And there we saved a kid, but just said, you can figure your way home. You got it. And we just never have to talk to him, but all that matters is he's not trapped by a giant slorg, and we activated that quest the first time we were in Bogshot, so it's been quite a while. He's just been chilling here, not dying, you know, casual things. Oh. Okay.
Nice.
But, yeah, sometimes you can get caught, like, in a weird spot in things collisions and just kind of float there for a little bit. Sometimes it can just, like, drop you really fast down through collision and kill you, so, like, in the water, it would just respawn me over on that platform, but it's still annoying that it can happen. And I believe, I'm just gonna check up on this. We could turn that in. Yeah, so we're pretty close to the end of Act 3 here. It's really just going here, turning some stuff in, going over to Market Town and turning some stuff in, and then going to Brightvale and turning stuff in, and then going to Market Town and turning a couple more things in, and then we just get to go save Meridel, go save Fairyland, and then enter Act 4. I believe.
Yep.
Sounds right to me. Fun little fact, this game has progressive upgrades, kind of, where technically speaking, you can go buy whichever upgrade you want if you can afford it. The Market Town sword for Tor is the strongest we can get up until the one in the Crypts with those Death Knights that we passed by that I just didn't care about, which we didn't get that one. Because of that, the quest we just turned in to the sword guy would have given us a sword normally, but because we have the Market Town sword, we still need to do it to complete the quest. We just don't get the sword. He's just like, here's your sword, sir. Why did I jump and bounce? And then we just are like, okay, and just toss it on the ground and leave. Super cool. So there's a number of, especially wands, that you can just miss, not knowing they're there. If you never go exploring in Brightvale Castle, Roberta has her actual training wand in there that you can grab. The Market Town wand is the best one you can get until... Is it until Fiora's Rod? Or is the Wand of the Ancients also? Not Wand of the Ancients.
No, it's until the Sorcerer's Wand.
The Sorcerer's Wand, that's what it is.
The wand that's in Meridel.
Yeah. And a funny thing is that there is a wand in Cogum. Most people never see that wand, ever, in their lives. Because you're not going to Cogum super early, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the next step after going to Brightvale. Or wand-wise, at least. Which is just really confusing in terms of how the game laid itself out. But you know what? Perfect game with no flaws.
I'm gonna start saying that to myself as like daily affirmations.
Yeah, perfect game with no flaws. I mean,
I'm a perfect game with no flaws. I'm a perfect game with no flaws and no bugs and glitches.
Yeah, I have no bugs and glitches. Staying actively with a parasitic infection.
The ringworm inside of me is very upset by this bit.
Yeah, my medical came out. I'm in nursing school right now, so I couldn't help myself.
W.
Yeah, the schedule actually came out a week after I started classes, so I didn't get to touch this run for over a month before you guys released the schedule, because I played Skyward Sword for the first time because Deesh plays it, and I learned the run for it and played it for about a month. And then I started classes. Then the announcement got released, and I touched the run yesterday and the day before to get back into it. Like, honestly, kind of W that I'm not like super
it's a pretty
throwing.
good run so far. Knock
Yeah,
on
it's
wood.
been a good run.
I mean, the one like cringe
Well,
game
chat's
over.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Ah, it's fine. Who even cares?
Exactly.
True.
It's all for charity. This part of the game is always probably my least favorite, just because it's a little slow. We're just running around. It's not very exciting. But I should go ahead and count. So what I'm counting here is the ticks on my health and mana bars. There should be 14 of each at the end of the game. At the end of Act 3, I should have 12 health and 11 mana. Or sorry, the end of this part of Act 3, I should have a 12 health and 11 mana. And then the end of Fairyland, I should have 13 health and 12 mana. 2, 3, 4... 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12 health, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 mana. That's all good, and then we're gonna get a golden egg in a secret hidden tower in Fairyland. That'll give us one of each, so we'll be at 13 and 12. And then there is one more golden egg in Act 4, and a starring egg in there that will fill out those bars. The fact that I know this off the top of my head is surprising. And this should be the last thing I have to turn on. Yep. Oh, I can check, we don't keep the Fang necklace. Unlucky.
Mm-hmm.
And here we're gonna do one more fun out of bounds. And this is... Is this the last out of bounds we see on the like, main world side of things? I think it is.
Yeah.
Dang, okay. Well, while we run back to Meridell Castle, anything...
Unless you count
say?
the thing to sisters.
Okay, that's fair. But while we're doing this, anything for questions, comments, messages, anything?
Yeah, I just want to, again, push chat to donate towards our current milestone and our current target. First and foremost, Pseudo Regalia has the Talk to Every Goatling target. It needs $50 more to be met. It needs to be met at the start of Pseudo Regalia, so only have Soul Reaver and the tail end of this run, pun unintended, actually. And then we also have, at the same time, that milestone going where you can get Jaxler to play a bonus game. Wow! For the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver run. He'll be doing a Soul Reaver 2 Remastered Any Percent run if we hit $2,300 raise total for the event. We only need $15 more to hit that milestone, so I think that's pretty easy. $15 chump change when compared to $2,285. So I would super appreciate it, chat, if you could donate towards that.
Also,
And every
W
single
Jaxler.
donation... yeah, that's true. W. Jaxler. And additionally, every single donation goes towards the Girls Make Games Scholarship Fund, a really excellent charity organization. Girls Make Games believes in providing every girl and woman with the opportunity to discover their potential and talents through gaming and game development. And with your donations, you're able to contribute directly to the scholarship fund that provides girls and women with the resources and opportunities to pursue careers in gaming through their mini programs, such as their college scholarships, their summer camp scholarships, and their new mentorship and internship programs. So really making a difference, trying to make gaming as equitable as possible.
So while that happened, we casually got to the top of the castle and kind of melted the sisters, all things being said. So a funny thing is that the sisters, during Act 3 at least, are always loaded up here, and you can just chill up here with them and do damage to them so long as you hit them with a spell from Roberta first to disable their, like, magic shield, which is why Tor can't hurt them initially. And I don't have... Yeah, no, I'm good. A fun little part of that is that if we do damage to them and they go hit the cutscene trigger outside of the throne room that would normally play as we're walking up, we can just get warped as soon as we finish the arena, and in doing that, their health will be set to the same health we put them at while their AI was deactivated. We just can't kill them because their AI isn't activated. And that's why we can just one-shot them. And we use that in every category because it is incredibly broken. And then there, with Roberta just kind of murking everything, as well as during the coup taking place in the Brightville Castle. We mentioned before that every moat has its own power attack if you charge it up. Roberta's Supernova moat attack is the most OP thing in the game. And if you charge it up, it'll just put this little ball around here that'll send out homing projectiles at literally everything in its vicinity and one-shot a lot of things. And it does contact damage. So if you just rub yourself against something and have it shoot them, they're just gonna melt, which is super cool. And we get to use that one more time in the run as well. Use your modes.
Sounds like fun.
Oh. Here we're just running through Fairyland. I just want to make sure I don't have anything left. And we get to go save Queen Fiora, who's been captured by the Darkest Faerie. Great thing we have her wand.
And
right?
credits roll.
And credits roll.
Boom.
See, there she is. We're gonna go save her right now. Oh no, surprise! That was not actually Fiora. That was the... well, okay. What we saw was Fiora in a chair tied up. What actually happened in the game is that it was the Darkest Faerie tied up in a chair, but it was actually Fiora that was disguised as the Darkest Faerie tied up in a chair. The Darkest Faerie had us give her Fiora's rod. So now she has the most powerful wand, theoretically, in the universe. That's problematic, and as we're, lighting the portal to go, I don't really know if it's explained why we light the portal and whatnot before that last cutscene, before Act 4. But regardless, that portal sends us to Altador, where there is this character named Jordana, who is, I guess, the most powerful mage that's ever existed. Altador has a bunch of heroes, the land is lost to time, and the Darkest Faerie used to be one of the Altadorian heroes until she decided she wanted to basically take reign for herself because she was greedy. And the last thing that Fiora says to us is, go find Jordana, which, spoiler, is the old lady that we saw in Fairyland. So that's fun. We saved her Harris. We had no idea that was her. And the last thing that happens is that while we're being yelled at to go find Jordana, Fiora lets her guard down. The Darkest Faerie quite literally puts her into a glass bottle, and she just becomes a little pet. Why is that the choice they went with? I don't know. But she turned into a pet, basically. This is
magic.
Yeah, magic. This is the other worst part of the game. This is Mortog herding. If you stand to the right and back of them, they'll move ever so slightly inwards counterclockwise. If you get too far on the left side of them, they will do a weird turnaround and go away from the button. They really don't want to be on this button, and this is the only way we can open this gate. That is that. It is so poorly explained of a puzzle that me and my sister had no idea how to do it for years as kids. After we had beaten the game multiple times, we just forgot one time, and we couldn't beat it forever. And so I never finished the game purely because of Park Shrine, which is what we're in now, because I could just never get into it. Until YouTube existed, and I was like, are you serious?
There's got to be the hidden 1 in 10,000 chance that all the frogs just spawn on the button. Surely. We have to figure this out.
They can definitely spawn close. I've seen them spawn all right next to it, so maybe. Who knows? That would be a crazy run.
When that happens, clip it and send it to me. Boom. Called it.
If that happens. No!
No. It's a win.
Yeah, it's a win. I imagine that's a bad run. Like somebody's just learning the run for the first time, like already 3 hours in and they get it. Oh.
Yes, dude, yes.
No.
Wait, sad you don't get it? Okay, that's fair, actually. I understand.
So what we're doing here is a little bit of an interesting trick. So normally we can't stop ourselves from ledge flying unless we hit something. The exception being, if you use a revival potion, it will drop us straight down as the other character. Since we killed Roberta with that Draconek at the beginning, and we bought a revival potion earlier in the game, we can do this ledge fly that would normally soft lock us, wait until we're above this area right here, pop the potion, and we'll drop right in to where we need to go. We can't fully skip this shrine because we need to herd Winnies at the very end of it, and in order to do that, we need to load the Winnies, which so happens to be locked behind the Harris's existing and being put in their little slots there.
Yeah, there's 4 different, like, quote-unquote puzzles throughout this entire sequence. The first one is a maze.
Which you can't get hit by any of the Draconags or it closes the gate, or be too slow.
Yeah, that. I think it can be slow, but...
I thought you could. I don't know.
I don't know, I could be wrong. And then you have, like, kind of an enemy gauntlet again. And then you have more Miamites herding, which thankfully we can skip. I'm realizing now this is actually 5 things. And then you have this, and then you have Winnies to herd at the end. The weird thing is, you can... So you can't skip just the maze. If you go to the... I believe if you go to the gauntlet next, like, they don't spawn. So you can't go beyond it.
Yep.
But you also can't skip past this because finishing this triggers the spawning of the Winnies.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. It's like the weirdest trigger chain ever, but...
The great part is that if you wanted to, for whatever reason, go do the Miamice herding, you can do that. They exist the whole time. But the Winnies, nah, that takes up too much memory. Can't do it. Like, I want to know what their thought process was, but who knows. This is also the only category where we see any of Altador that isn't that main hall that we spawn in. That's fun. We'll see why later, but effectively, the end of Altador is at the very beginning of Altador. Similar to how the end of Spyro Enter the Dragonfly is directly next to the beginning, and you just ground pound through a specific part of that portal, we can just fly through a wall and go straight down to where we need to go and end Act 4. It's really dumb.
You taught me that last night.
Yeah.
When I was playing another Spyro game.
Deesh has never played the Spyro games, which is crazy.
I mean...
Criminal.
I haven't, yeah.
Altador is unfortunately a little bit of a short area. I mean, it's great for runs, but I think there was a lot they wanted to do here that they just couldn't because they were really rushed with the game, which really, really sucks. But it's okay, I guess. I'll forgive them for now.
Now I feel bad for making all the game design jokes.
No. This game is still great as is. But maybe one day. Maybe one day.
If it sells enough copies, do you think we'll get a remake? 20 years later?
I don't know. I think our best shot is because the new CEO is the EA guy. Like,
whoa.
It's money. It has to work. But with that park shrine done, the other 3 shrines are comically short. Well, in the run. The sewer shrine, which is what we're going into now, is more focused around being sneaky and stealthy. And in order to be sneaky and stealthy, we're going to skip all potential even being seen by going out of bounds. Checks out.
Wow. And
for those, I guess that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah. for those familiar with the game, you know what part this one is.
I
For
love
those
the
not
sewer
familiar-
shrine. I'm just saying.
For those not familiar with the game, this part sucks. It has one of the most annoying puzzles in the entire game,
Yeah.
where you have to completely not be seen by enemies at all. But thankfully, we get to come hit all these collision triggers for loads and just kind of skip the next area.
Yeah, so that very first area we skipped was possibly the most annoying thing that isn't like animal herding in this game, where you have to step on a platform and this platform drops like a trapdoor under you. And then you have to go find a switch, or you have to go find a ladder that'll take you to a switch behind a statue that will turn on a light. And that light, that one light will light up the correct path to take along this trapdoor. And even if you know what the path is, you cannot take the correct path. And some of these areas are so long because they chain back into each other, and there's 3 of them. So you're like, okay, you do the first one, great, go to the second one. You do the same thing. It pops you out at the beginning. So on the third one, once you flip the lever, you have to go back to the beginning and do all 3 of the sections back to back. And if you ever so slightly step out of that square, because it's 1 square wide, you just have to do it all over again. You have to leave and go back. And it's the worst. It is the biggest time sink for no reason. I don't like that area very much. The last area of the sewer shrine is more of like a timed gauntlet. It's a platforming gauntlet that's timed. There's no real repercussions. If you fall off, you just reset the timer. If you are too slow, it just resets the timer.
It is also fairly annoying, though.
It's a little annoying. Some of the collision's bad. Some of the movement it feels weird. Also, we got a music glitch. Is this the first one in the game that we've gotten?
I can't think of another time it's happened. But yeah, there's no music playing.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate, I guess a loading side effect with, like, hitting triggers weird, maybe?
Yeah,
and like that,
I think if you're too fast for the game.
Yeah, too good. Too skilled. Why it doesn't happen to me very often. It happens to Tish more.
3 fast, 5 you.
So
also,
this
no.
Is
misinformation again.
Here we go. This is the Arena District. It is literally a gauntlet. That's all it is.
And we can use this OP attack once again to destroy everybody.
This is probably the shortest one casually, which is nice because it's not very exciting. But it's definitely annoying. And there's that done. The last one... Sorry.
No, I just wanted to say you can't actually skip over all of that and get to the end, but unfortunately the trigger doesn't exist until you've beaten everybody.
That's usually the case with most of this area. Like, the only reason we can skip all of Sewer Shrine is because part of the timer sequence at the very end is touching the water right next to the statue of Kellen the Quick, which, spoilers, is the beggar at the very beginning of the game that Ori learns how to fight bandits with.
Wait, who's that?
Kellen the Quick?
We didn't see him.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't remember any bandit fight tutorial runner.
Yeah.
Thank you, Plus.
Whoops. My fault. Yeah, we left an old man to die. Anyway.
Whoa!
Yeah, pretty much.
We never saw him, not our
Oh,
fault.
come on, that's tame compared to the rest of this game.
I guess that's kind of true, yeah.
So...
Also, there's our wand.
Yes, that is the not penultimate, that is the ultimate wand of this game. The only reason we can skip all of Sewer Shrine is because the water extends out back there, and that water is the same collision trigger that would end the Sewer Shrine and give us a cutscene. We're very lucky we don't have to do that last section, because it's quite obnoxious.
I honestly, I would have settled for just doing that because I do hate the obstacle course, but I would have figured it out. I would have settled for just not skipping that, but yeah, it's nice to not have to.
The obstacle course is okay. This section,
But it's like,
what?
I was just saying, it's okay, but it's like,
Oh, yes, it is definitely, it's like, it doesn't feel great. But the Money District, which is the last one here, has yet another maze. Why does this section of the game like mazes? Who knows?
But in the speedrun, this part is the quickest. Also, you might want to save here.
Yeah, I'm gonna save here. So we skipped the maze. Well, no, we didn't. Technically. You would come in here after doing some platforming all the way from the library on the other side of town. You would do a little puzzle here, and then there's a maze with levers that you have to find, and it's really poorly explained what they want you to do. But there's 7 levers that you have to pull. They're all in the same place, I believe. And only 3 of them actually open the door. You have to pull all 3. The other 4 just spawn enemies near the door. It's kind of just a time waster. And then this area is you just push blocks onto switches and it fills pits with money, and then you can walk across some platforms that get raised with it. Also, all of those money pits are game over pits. Very fun. And now we're just cleaning up Altador, which is a few chests and then buying a couple more things. I think mostly treasure maps.
It actually, quite literally, the route for Altador has not, like, some of the tricks have evolved, but the route in general has not changed through Altador since this category's inception. It just happened that going straight forward and then, what would it be, counterclockwise was the fastest thing to do. Also, in that area, can I explain Postmaster Tilbar?
Yeah.
So in that area, there's actually a set of side quests from a guy named Postmaster Tilbar. There is a mail icon on the map in that area if you open the map there. But when you go there in normal gameplay, nothing happens. That is because the guy that's supposed to be there, the postmaster, is kind of not loaded properly. It's weird. So the game kind of loads, and this is going to be a very crude explanation. Monster860 has a better explanation on her channel. Check it out. YouTube. But effectively the game loads NPCs in that area and among others in like groups. So when you're in and it actually uses area loads. So when you're in a certain part of it, 3 NPCs in that area will be loaded. And then when you're in the other part of that map, 3 other NPCs will be loaded. But Postmaster Tilbar is loaded when you're in the opposite area for where he is. So you can see him from a distance, but unless you do a specific bit of funky movement on console, by the way, because it doesn't work on emulator because emulator loads too fast, you basically can do a loading zone manipulation kind of thing to spawn him in. But he has like 7 mail delivery quests, and so you would have to do that every time, and it's very annoying. And we decided not to include him altogether because having to do glitches to access a quest is not it, so to speak.
I can go show them.
Also, there's actually another set of broken main quests here. Where are you going?
I'm showing the mail icon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I need to go in more. Maybe? There you go. So the mail icon on the
Yeah, there
bottom
we go.
side of the map there. There's a broken slide of main quests?
Yeah, because we only talk to... So as part of the main quests are to, free all the heroes, but the first part of those quest chains is talking to their respective statues in this area. Two of them, their quest chain is broken, and one of them, like, one of the links in the quest chain can't really be activated. So we just don't talk to their statues, because then their quest would be stuck on screen for the rest of the game. But here we have now...
This is what we do in every other category at the beginning of Act 4. And we can skip literally all of it. There are trials where you go into, like, element-specific or whatever regions and do some funky things, and you take this elevator down. And then there's another elevator that is broken apart, and you have to go into, like... I want to say it's either 5 or 6, like, mini mazes to go hit these buttons.
I think it's a hexagon, so 6.
Yeah. You have to go into, like, each of these doors to hit little buttons to raise parts of the elevator before you can take it down. There's Game Over Pit directly below us, but instead, we can just go through that wall and come right down here. And this is the very last, like, real thing before the final boss. We'll come here, we light all these statues, and then we're freeing Jordana, which is the old lady from Act 2.
Well, you heard it there, folks. Not much time left if you want to get your donations in for that Soul Reaver 2 any % run. That is open until the end of Jaxler's run, coming up next. But I'll tell you what, Jaxler wants to talk about Pseudo Regalia, a little bit of insider knowledge. He really wants to beef up that Pseudo Regalia incentive. So if we could hit it by the end of this run, that'd be awesome.
Time is not on beating the final boss, by the way.
Yeah. So there's going to be a cutscene after beating the final boss. We're going to run through the Fairyland overworld. We're going to hit one more cutscene by some stairs, and when we run back towards Fiora, towards the middle of Fairyland, when it starts fading out, that is time. I'll try to give a countdown. What am I doing?
That was exceptionally awful RNG, by the way.
Yeah, she normally doesn't throw the minions, but it's whatever. That boss fight is so horrible. So, not not on this next cutscene, but the one following it.
Yep, we can make sure we're ready on time.
I'm in 3, 2, 1, time.
GG, okay. Well done, Clad.
GG.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Oh, that was a crusty run. Did I at least make estimate?
Good. It looks like the final time was a 3:08:17.
No. Ugh. The Drake did
it's
it.
all good. Yeah, there was so much in that run, but that was a really fun time. Clag, do you want to get through your shoutouts, you and Deesh?
Yeah. Well, Deesh is pretty cool. He's on Twitch as Deesh. He or Deesh23, I guess. Yeah. He runs this game occasionally. Skyward Sword. I think he's learning Spiral Rifter's Rage right now, and that's pretty cool.
That's more of a
whatever
challenge favor for a friend. But yes, I am running Skyward Sword these days. I have the world record in all dungeons.
Everybody in the Neopets Discord is super warming and awesome. If you want to join it, just chat about Neopets or just be in a cool community, there's a link on our SRC page. Jaxler is big dub. He got me into this game, well, running this game, and he's a grandfather of this game, basically. Celestial Shy is currently on hiatus, but is learning all bosses right now, so she's gonna bot me soon. So go give her some love. And yeah. Do you have anything, Tish?
Where can folks find you, Clag?
Oh, I am at twitch.tv/Clagnarok, but I am very sparse right now due to school. But I am going to try and get a little bit more settled and be a little bit more active.
I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Shout out Clag for run and Claus for host.
Yeah, thank you, Claus.
Yippee. Yeah, I had a blast. This run was really, really fun. Everyone, Clag and Deesh, one more time. Our Neopets misinformation duo.
Yeah.
W run.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right, folks. What a fantastic Neopets run. I am still reeling over it. What a time to be had. Who knew Neopets was so dark, actually. Quite surprising. I would love to see our next run get a little bit of love. For $15, you can donate towards our milestone incentive for our next Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver run. Only $15 to go until that milestone is met. And additionally, it'll put us a little bit closer to our 2,300, our 2,500 goal. That's right. We're aiming to reach 2,500 by the end of today. And every cent, every dollar helps. So much appreciated. If you have some money to donate, some money to spare, that would be excellent. I would love to have some last minute donations to read. I am off host after this run, so make my day. Why don't you give me a Neopet that you like? You'll have to let me know what Neopets you like. I'll Google them right here, right now for you.